Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, Ireland's only answer to Harry Kane, bringing you the Irish Hotspur review with Jack Kinnicky. And each week, this is a weekly show where basically Jack comes on, he asks the questions. And the reason why this is happening is because I just felt over the last while people were saying to me, we want to hear more of your views, more of your views. So Jack is now the questions guy. And I'm now in the hot seat where I'm debating with Danny, and we will be joined by bobspur this evening. But Jack, how are you keeping first, my man?
I'm doing brilliant. I'm here in the beautiful state of Kentucky. Normally I'm here in New York, but it's beautiful to be in nice sunshine and grass that I haven't felt in a long time. And I'm ready to ask David the hard questions and for you guys to hear David's real opinions.
That's what I'm talking about. I absolutely love it, lad. And he's going to the races at the weekend, so everyone wishing a good day out.
Yeah, I need the Spurs fan base to give me a horse to bet on. I'm going to bet on Essential Quality. Essential Quality is a big favorite, but if someone wants to send me something through Twitter to bet on, because I am not a gambler, so I could use any help I can get.
Well, there you have it. If we have anybody that, studies the race and posts week in, week out, get in contact with Jack. The link for his Twitter is in the description below.
Big help.
So just send him a few tips. Danny, how are you keeping, my man?
You know me, David, mate. I'm bright as a day, mate. I'm absolutely brilliant at the moment, especially knowing that Arsenal lost as well, which definitely gives me a little bit more of a boost. So can't complain, really.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But look, lads, before we delve into it, make sure you do the basics, which is smash a like on the stream, smash a subscribe on the channel. The big push for 3K is on before the end of the season. Ambitious, I know, but I'm an ambitious guy, and the Harris Army can certainly make that happen. If you feel like it, get your super chats in with questions or opinions for me or the panel that we have here tonight. And when the chat hots up, everybody knows it. Do try to get your comments up on screen. But, when it does go so fast, Super Chat is the way to go. And it guarantees we stop talking, especially me, because I am a motor mouth. So I stop talking and we discuss your opinion on the Super Chats. And also, the link for the channel memberships is in the chat. It's a pinned tweet or a pinned message. So make sure you grab your channel membership if you want to come on tomorrow and have your say. The base of the show for the fan show tomorrow, starting at 9:30, will be what manager do you want in, but of course we'll talk Carabao Cup final and everything else you want to talk about. I know that we were supposed to be doing frenemies tomorrow. Unfortunately, something's come up for Marcelo. He's busy, you know what I mean? So we are going to put it back to next week. So the fan show is taking its place at 9:30 tomorrow. Let's welcome a few people into the stream as well. We have Sue Smith. She says, bloody well hope so, David, or we are in a world of shit. Hashtag Harris Army. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Sue. 100%. Before this, the messages were way in before this, so I can't get them up now, but we have Premier Hotspur TV in the building, Killian Kenny, and beloved Hotspur as well, so big up all them. We have Wayne Bonner. He says, if Levy can't get a manager to work for him, then I'll have the job. Don't worry, Wayne, I have the Spurs fan base sorted. I am putting a team together, and I will be sending in my CV with my backroom staff and everybody, to Levy. And on the basis, the cheapest will do, and that's the way the board act, I should get the job. I'll be pretty cheap, so I should get the job. But big up Wayne Bonner. Brian Daigle, straight to the point. Big up, Brian. Hope you're keeping well, man. Check out that chicken shop in Tottenham you told me to check out. It's absolutely great chicken, my man. Good choice. And he says, Levy out, time's up. No more smoke and mirrors. No more lies. Pack your bags and piss off. Absolutely love it, Brian. Straight to the point. This is the way we need to be now. And Shamu says he's not sure he'd back Wayne. Look, Wayne, what I'd say to you is you probably have the money to buy Tottenham, my man. So, just buy the club, lad. You can do what you want then. You're the top dog. And he says, don't blame you, Shamu. Neither would I. So Wayne doesn't even back himself. But like I said, Wayne will buy the club. G-Mart, he says, what a lineup for this chat tonight. Come on, you Spurs. 100% I agree with you. We've got an impeccable lineup here tonight. ATX7 Gaming says, big up the lads. Come on, you Spurs. And also, Enoch and Levy out. 100% ATX7 Gaming. Jordan Stevens says, suspense was killing me, David. I know, Jordan, you know me. I like to leave it a few minutes late, let the chat build up, let the suspense rise. All of a sudden, I come on, bam, here I am. People are excited. That's what it's about, Jordan. Cody Mack says, everywhere we go. Big up, Cody. Absolutely love Cody. He does crack me up anytime I see him. We have Kieran O'Connell as well. A big help with the thumbnails along with Will Stewart THFC Rants. This guy's a legend. He was on the fan show the other day. He was on We Are Tottenham TV, starting to come out from behind his shell and get on the camera. And that's what we need us Spurs fans to be doing. He says, was on Twitter and just heard the stream start on 100% volume. Just shat my pants. You better go and change them, my man. I hope they weren't tighty-whitey. The Mountie says, how's it going, boys? Need a win this Sunday to get me back buzzing again. The Mountie, don't worry, the win is coming at the weekend. I can assure you of that, my man. Skippy FC says, great week for Premier League in Europe. Then there's Arsenal, lol. Hope you're well, David and the boys. Yeah, Arsenal, I think they're out. I'm going to say it now. I think they're out. But look, they do have the away goal on them, so they could turn it around at the Emirates. But I'm hoping not. Danny Ceballos will be suspended. Big yourself up, Brian C. By the way, this is the guy I was messaging on Twitter. He wants us Spurs fans, us Spurs YouTubers to all come together, get a petition going and get it out there. Start bombarding the board from all angles, protest petitions, the whole lot. So if there is anybody out there who can actually help me put a petition together, please do get in contact with me on Twitter. My link is in the description below, like I said, with all the lads here. So, yeah, if you can help me out on that, that would be fantastic. I know people are going to say, oh, petition's not going to do much. That's your choice. I'm going to do it because I think it's another angle we can bombard the board with. So, big up Derek Hutchinson as well. He says, it's not good getting a new manager until we get rid of Enoch and Levy. I fully agree. Fully agree. Kieran O'Connell again says, asking all of us who to decide to support Tottenham to pick your horses for you is probably a bad idea. He's got a point there, Jack. He's got a point. Big up,
got more than a point.
Big up, Shamu. Big up, Joe27. Big up, 92 Flamethrower. Big up, Joseph Monaghan. Big up, Wayne Bonner again. Everything football fan. Big yourself up. Cenk, come on, you Spurs. Big up the panel. Big yourself up, Cenk. I do want to actually get you on for a show sometime, my man. Lappers is in the building. Big yourself up, Lappers. He's calling you the Bundan. Big up Shane O'Neill. He's in the building. Big up Tim Man 007 as well. Big up Victor HM. Big up Blade. Blade, that's a bit of an aggressive name. I like it in a way, you know what I mean? But it's a bit aggressive. I want to know where it came from. John Zygon, big yourself up. William McKenzie as well. Danny, he's on the stream and in the chat. Big up, my man, Danny. And there we have it, lads. There we have everybody. So look, we may as well. We may give this man a shout out. Brian Ireland, Brian. Big up Brian Ireland. Him and Brian David from Tottenham away. Paul Brown as well, and Chris Sperrin as well. Paul Brown says until the board issues Deadwood, etc. are rectified, we may as well have a cardboard cutout as next manager. Yeah, no, I'll go along with the likeness to that. James Joris is in as well. And Barbie is in as well. Irish #1 Spurs fan, always good opinion. Big up, Dave. We want a top 4, but we are not even in top 10 when it comes to spending. Yeah, 100%. I agree with that, Barbie. And James Joris says he's looking forward to the stream. And then a Spursy take. Big up, my guy. Love the content from Jamaica. Big yourself up, my man. So look, Jack, fire away with the first question.
Let's do it. All right. So it's not going to be starting off easy. We're going to be starting off with our MK Dons man, our Dele Alli, and we're going to be starting around this controversy surrounding Dele's fall from form, as we've been very familiar with. And so basically, you can go at this at all angles. What happened to Dele's form and attitude? Was it the big new contract, the fame? Will he ever return to his previous sensational form if he stays at Spurs? What happened to Dele's form and attitude? Was it the contract? Was it the fame? What seemed to happen to Dele ever since the Jose appointment?
Yeah, Danny, do you want to take this one first and then I'll go after you, or what way do you want to do it?
Don't mind. I'll let you go first. I think everyone wants to hear what Mr. Irish Hotspur has to say.
Gentleman.
Okay. Right, I'll go first. So look, with Dele Alli, I do think a part of it is the fame, a part of it is the money. As a young lad, when you start getting that sort of money, sometimes it does go to your head. You slack off a little bit. You believe you're going to have this mercurial talent no matter what. Even though it does take hard work and dedication and practice day in, day out at the same intensity to be able to refine his talent, you know what I mean, and hone his skills. I do believe, look, a part of it probably is Jose. What I will say is, at the start, Jose actually pinpointed Dele to really work with. I firmly do believe that. Right. He put so much attention on him. He tried patting him on the back, saying, look, I need you. You know what I mean? He's tried getting reactions out of him by saying, you're a lazy trainer in front of everyone, hoping to try and get reaction. And I just think with Dele's fiery personality, Mourinho's fiery personality, it clashed. And I think then, Dele Alli was of the opinion, well, it's grand, I'll just sit here until Jose is gone, knowing he'd outlast Jose. And I do think it's a shame, because I firmly believe with both of their personalities, if they didn't clash and we could get them to unite, that would have been some partnership. Because when Mourinho first came in and he was using Dele Alli, Dele Alli was doing some great things. He was getting in some game against West Ham when he stopped the ball from going out of play, kept it in, we went and scored from it. He was doing some great things. And look, I think a lot of it is to do with the misses he had as well, lads, to be honest with you. I know there was an issue with the misses and stuff like that, and basically bit overpowering stuff like that. And apparently he's finished with her now and that. So look, I'm hoping we can see the best Dele Alli in the future. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't, to be honest with you. I think it's gone too far for the fans, for him at the club, and I think it's a case where the kid might have to go out on loan to try and build up, the level he was at again. That's just my opinion. But we'll pass it over to Danny. Danny, what do you think, my man?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I've been saying it for a long time, man. I think since he got that new contract, because he came into the club on small wages, right? Then when he got that contract in 2018 in October, he probably went on an estimated 30 grand to about 150 grand or whatever it was, something like that. I mean, when you're from a player who's come at such a young age into a league where he was in League One to the Premier League and then being a star in the team, I mean, it all this like money and all this attention, I think it got to a point where it just went straight to his head. Like you've seen a lot of over the years of a lot of English players, right? For me, I think it's also a cultural thing, because I think what happens is he's got, it's like he's made it for him. I feel, my opinion, it's like in his head he feels like I've done it. Like I'm earning the 150 grand a week now, and I don't need to try as hard now. And also the other thing I believe as well is that he never had competition in the team, right? So there was no one in the team who was competing for his position. So for him to be playing in the position, he was always in the team no matter what. If he was shit, he was in the team. If he was doing okay, he was in the team. He was there. It was always one of the first names on the team sheet. And I think that played a massive part in him falling from grace in a sense, right? Because he was one of the best young midfielders in Europe. He was being linked with like the best clubs at the time. Like he was being linked with Real Madrid, Barcelona, and then he just kind of just fell off slowly and kept going, and the consistency stopped. And then rather than having 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row where he was good, he'd have one good game every like 5 to 10 games, and it wasn't good enough. Like he would produce moments of magic every so often, but it wasn't enough. And for me, I just think that he had so much attention on him that I think he became, well, he's obviously a huge celebrity, right, across the world. And I think all the fame and all the sponsorships and all the clothing brand and clothing adverts he does and all this kind of stuff, and Fortnite and all the partnerships he's got with Fortnite and the gaming industry, I think he prefers that. I see that for me, he prefers that, and he's more happier when he's doing that than he's on the pitch playing for the badge, right? Because when he was a young kid, right, at that age, he came into Tottenham. He was a young kid trying to break in, right, trying to force his way in. He came with an attitude and a desire and a fire in his belly. And for me, he got to that level and then he just stopped. He didn't, because we all know, right, Dele Alli has got ability. He's got bags of it. Yeah. But the problem with Ali is that he's just lost that fire. He's lost that drive, right? And it all ties into the money side of things and also the competition. Because if Dele Alli had someone like a Jack Grealish competing for his position, I reckon at that time he would have been training harder to try and stay in that team. But because he was playing bad, even at the back end of Pochettino's tenure, right, he was playing bad. He was one of the bad ones as well. And like who else did we have to put in the team? We had no one else who could play the positions he was playing. Ericsson plays in a different position, and he was poor as well. So what could we do? So I think it all ties into it, to be honest. And I think, and for me, I think that Dele Alli, as much as we all would love to see him like get to that level again, I just think that I don't know if he's ever going to get to that level again. I kind of think he's hit the ceiling. And I think even if he goes to another club, is he really going to put in that effort and determination to get to the top again? I just don't see it. And I think it'll be good for his career to leave Spurs, whether it's on loan or if they sell him, whatever. I think it's good to get out of that atmosphere and that scenario and the scenes he's been around in for so long. And I think he needs a new environment. But whether or not he hits those levels again, like his peak season, I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
I don't either. Just quickly, first of all, let's welcome Premier Hotspur TV to the House Army as a member. Big up Simon. He got the channel membership in anticipation of the fan show tomorrow, so I'm expecting Simon to have a lot to say. And just before we bring on Bob Spur as well, we have Paul Markey here. He says no one will have success with Spurs as a manager until Levy and Hitchen are gone. Their meddling with the squad has cost us success. 100%, Paul. Look, I firmly believe the reason why some of these players are here is because I think Levy probably has a personal attachment to this squad, and that's just my opinion on it. I do believe that, he's picked Dele Alli to stay over Jose Mourinho. So Dele Alli's still here, Winks is still here, players like that, and I just believe he does have a personal attachment to this squad. But big up Paul Markey. Everyone else, follow Paul Markey's suit and get your super chats in. Let us know what you think on the Dele Alli situation. But let's welcome in Bob Spur here. Bobby,
here he is.
How you keeping, man?
That's got to be the most campest boxing punches ever.
I wouldn't be afraid if I see you stood in front of me doing that anyway. You look a bit like Scrappy Doo there, my man. A bit like Scrappy Doo when you do that. Why don't you give Bob the question on Dele Alli there quickly?
Yeah, let's do it. So Bob, what we're asking is what has really been the real reason behind Dele's huge fall from form? Has it been the contract? Is it the fame? Is it the new manager, Jose? Some of us don't think so because he did have that bright spark in the beginning of Jose. What do you pin it down to for Dele's kind of almost sensational fall from form?
First of all, what a shame! What a shame! He was one of the most looked upon young starlets of Europe. Still remember his debut for England against Lloris. I remember a few of his fantastic games. Chelsea mainly, 2 headers at White Hart Lane, and he's obviously when we broke the losing streak or the not winning streak at Stamford Bridge. I think it's a combination of quite a few. Unfortunately, what I don't want, and he could move away, what I don't want is Dele Alli to go down as a wasted talent, too much too soon, etc., etc. Something's not right. Like you say, it wasn't. A lot of people are suggesting Jose's destroyed him, but no, like you say, and we've spoken about it a few times, Dave. He was losing form under Poch.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is Ryan Mason in the final. No matter what you say about his tactical decisions, and they were a bit messed up, but he didn't even put Dele up. He's not given Dele a chance in either game. Okay, it was a few minutes there, but it's not like we all expected Dele to come out of the wilderness and play his part under Mason, because he thought, right, if anyone knows Ali as a person, and probably he knows him as a person, that's the reason why he's not played him. The sitting in his car for hours on end on Instagram doesn't sit right. His fashion label, his haircuts, we've known more about his off-field.
It's about the image.
Life. Yeah, but Dan, we know more about his off-field life in the last season or so than what we know. His training methods or anything like that. So clearly something's not right, which is such a shame. Like I say, you asked Bob Spur Jr. David, I think you asked him a few weeks ago, who's your favourite player? He still says Dele Alli. He loves him. He absolutely loves him. And for him to go, Dada, why isn't Dele Alli playing? Because he's a bit of a cunt, mate. He can't really say that to a 6-year-old. It's a shame. It's just a shame. It's just a shame.
No, it is. Just quickly, I just have another bit to say there. I'll just take Premier Hotspur's question. He says, guys, do you think if Jose had that prime team that Poch had, he would have gone on to win a trophy with that team. I'm just going to go quickly, just yes or no. We'll go around the panel. I'm going to say yes, Jack.
Yes.
Danny?
Yep.
Bob?
100%, mate. They had a good defense.
There you are, Simon. There you are. Look, with Dele Alli, I think, look, we've all agreed, maybe he got too much too soon. The desire, the drive was there when he wanted the big money, when he wanted to go and get the best things. He got that contract, he's completely tailed off. But that comes down to the desire, hunger, comes down to, are you in football because you love football? Have you lost your love for football? A lot of things to ask. Look, for me personally, I actually do think he looks probably a bit depressed, a bit lost at the minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This whole Instagram, Fortnite shit. Look, first and foremost, he's paid to be a footballer. Concentrate on your football. If your football's good, then go and do all that shit. You know what I mean? What happened to the good old days where they earn their money and then come to later on in the career, that's when they start setting themselves up for stuff for after football. When they're due to retire, they know about 2 years beforehand. Start setting up. Why are these footballers? Why are these footballers doing it now so soon? They want too much too soon. It's just greed. Yeah. You know what I mean? First and foremost, society, concentrate on your career.
Yeah, it's society. It's the culture now. It's how kids are now. Like kids.
Yeah, I get that. But look, eventually some club is going to have to stamp down on this. I don't care. Some club is going to have to stamp down on it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean? Yeah.
And for me, I think we need to stop. Us fans in general, we need to stop making excuses for these players. And I'm up the point now. He's been shit for 2 years. I want to sell him. That's it. I don't care. Yeah. I don't want to give him another manager, give him a chance to come out and play his best football again. Couldn't give a crap. I haven't seen it for 2 years, and I don't think he's just going to be able to turn it just on like that. You see with Gareth Bale, he's been out of the Madrid team. He's had to come on Tottenham on loan, build up 6-7 months worth of fitness to get back out there and get to the level he's at. So for me, we don't have that time with Dele. Ship him on. I don't care. We're at a point now where we need players now who are hungry and want to play for this badge and want to win us games of football.
100%.
Do you know what as well, Dave, right? With that, if Dele, what will fucking piss me off more than anything, if that guy comes out, imagine if Ten Hag becomes our manager, right? And he starts putting faith into him again, and he starts showing us the Dele Alli he used to be. I will get so fucking angry that he's for 2.5 years, he's been playing like that shit, right? Mm-hmm. And he's cost the club countless times, like wins or points or whatever, right? Because of his attitude, because he didn't feel like playing. That will piss me off more than anything, and I want him gone even more after that.
I think he would have got so much more respect, with the Instagram posts and all that. If there were posts of him training hard and in the on the exercise bike and just at home, just training out there, he would have got so much more respect, and we would have probably been a bit more, given him a bit more benefit of the doubt. But the whole touching of, I know it was all probably set up and he was touching his cap, but the fact he was put in that position and there was a conversation, and you're spot on, Dave, with regards to you want players here who want to play for the club and etc. But that should be a remit. I know we'll go into it a bit more, but that should be the remit from top all the way down to bottom.
Yep.
Any last comments on Dele?
Throughout the club.
Any final comments on Dele?
I think it's just come to the point. I just think it's come to the point where we have to sell him, and that's it. I'm just saying to all Spurs fans, cut this sentimentality crap. Let's give him another 6 months, this, that, and the other. No, he has to go.
He should have gone in the summer. We should have gone in the summer, Dave, when we've got a bit more money for him, personally. I said that.
His value's probably gone down even more now.
Exactly. Half. It's probably half, mate. Since Jan, it's probably half.
Any club that's looking to buy him now, it's going to be a bit of a gamble, really, because you look at it, he has so much potential, but he has off the field issues, he has attitude problems.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be a gamble.
I don't want that at my club. No.
Okay, guys, moving on to the next question. It's going to be kind of further on kind of players in our squad, kind of further down the squad chart that have been struggling. So in this sense, if we don't re-sign Gareth Bale, should we give another chance to Steven Bergwijn, or should Spurs still look to move him on? Do we give another chance to Steven? Look,
for me, I think Bergwijn's here for another year regardless anyway. I do think if we don't take on Bale for a second year, we have to keep Bergwijn. We have to keep him because we'll be short in numbers for that position. Because I do think Lamela will probably leave this summer. So, it makes us even shorter in that position again. So for me, we'll have to keep Stevie B I just hope he's ready to take the opportunity when it comes. Would I take Gareth Bale for another year? Probably not, I really wouldn't. Like, look how much we're paying him every week. He's made his smart comments on international break. For me, it kind of looked like times this year, he turns it on when he wants to turn it on.
Yes.
When Jose Mourinho came out after I think it was after the City game or before the City game, and he was saying about Gareth Bale, he said something about Gareth Bale not being injured or something like that. And Gareth Bale was saying, I need to work with my physio, this, that, and other. All of a sudden, Gareth Bale turned it on for a few games. And for me, I think another player who I don't think he's about the team. And I think this is the problem. We have too many players that are in it for their own self. They're not about the team. And I don't care what people want to say. Gareth Bale is one of them. And that's just
Dave,
the matter.
Your volume's off.
Your mic.
That's it. Go on.
That's just back to the matter.
No.
No, can't hear you, mate. Can't hear you, Dave.
Let's move on to Danny. So, do you think Stephen B will he thrive if Gareth Bale isn't re-signed? Will he have will he be given more chances? Will he thrive with maybe a bigger opportunity, bigger position?
Yeah, I mean,
you think he can thrive? Sorry, yeah, David, you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, do you want to finish?
Oh yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, lads. Yeah, so for me, look, I just think we've put too much time and effort into him for the rewards that we've got from him. Like I was saying, he turns it on when it suits Gareth Bale. And for me, I think he has lost his desire and his love for football. I think he firmly used Tottenham to have his last hurrah at the Euros because he's seen it was his only way of getting first team football, in my opinion. And for me, no, I don't want him. We don't need selfish players in our team. We just don't. And that's the fact of the matter. And for me, we need players that are hungry and that want to be here and that are willing to die for the cause. Not a player that turns it on and off when he wants. So get him done. And then in Stevie B's case, I think we have no option but to give him another year and see if he performs.
Well said. Danny, what are your thoughts on Stephen B? If Gareth Bale doesn't sign, do you think that the new manager will give him a big opportunity? Especially if it's Ten Hag, you could see that happening.
So that's what I was going to discuss. Yeah. So when we bought Bergwijn, right, he was one of the better performers, one of the best performers in the Eredivisie, right?
Yeah.
And from the way that Ten Hag, like his philosophy is, his style is, right, I generally think that because he is young, right? Let's get it right. Like, look, if you look at how Son was when he came into the Premier League, his first season wasn't the greatest, and he nearly left the club in his first season in that summer window, right? He nearly left. He didn't, right? And only in the last 2 years, Son's kind of gone to that next level of like eliteness. So he's been at Spurs where he's been a good player, but he's not been like an amazing player, right? Mm-hmm. And I think with Bergwijn, he is young, so I think with the right manager, I think someone like Ten Hag or Poch would have been a brilliant coach for him, because the problem is, right, with Jose is we saw it. It's like he's not coaching players properly, right? He uses old methods and old tactics and how he coaches. And I heard reports as well from Ali Gold saying that people inside the club were saying that everyone's fitness was so poor, and I mean, it just stinks of like a Jose Mourinho situation, really. So I think if you put someone like Ten Hag in there, right, who I think he coaches young players. He knows how to get into young players' head. He coaches in the right way of playing football. I think we're going to see a completely different Bergwijn under someone like Ten Hag. And I honestly believe that. And I think that with Bergwijn, right, you've kind of got to just scrap this season out, because he's only been here for half a season, because at the beginning of the season, he played a little bit, but then he was asked to do all the defensive work most of the time. And most of the time, his best performances were when he was tracking back, right? When he was covering Aurier and stuff like that. So, I mean, he's a bloody attacking winger. Yeah, do you know what I mean? He's a winger, right? And for me, I think he needs to be like, he needs his confidence back, right? Mm-hmm. He's lost his confidence back. Yeah, he needs his confidence back. He needs to play in the position that suits him. And I just feel that he will benefit a lot from someone like Ten Hag. And also, they're both Dutch, and they're both Dutch as well. Yeah. So that can help as well.
He is from the rival club, but yeah, I completely agree.
He is, but I mean, he gets picked for Holland all the time. He gets picked for the Netherlands. So, and they always play him on the right. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, like, I agree with what Dave was saying about Bale. To be honest, I think he turns up when he wants. He doesn't give a shit really about the club. We're paying far too much money. It was a Daniel Levy fucking Oh, mate, it's just typical Daniel Levy deal, isn't it? It's just nostalgia, thinking he's going to make money off it and bring the name back, bring Bale back, and like it just completely ignores everything that's happened to Bale in the
Do you
last
think he
couple of
brought him
years.
back knowing the Super League was going to happen?
Maybe.
I hadn't thought about it that way.
That's a good
Use the name
point.
as clout. Use the
That's a
name as
good
clout.
one.
Get Tottenham's name out there for a bit. Use Gareth Bale's name for a bit of clout
Yeah.
for Tottenham.
Like you're
Yeah.
Stuff
thinking,
like that.
Yeah,
He's a great
yeah.
player for no relegation too.
yeah.
Yeah,
He would love that.
yeah.
That's
good
well
point,
said,
mate.
though. Well
Yeah.
said, Danny. Bob, your thoughts on
Cheers.
Stephen B? I agree with Danny here. Do you think he would really thrive if he just was given a chance at his real position on the right wing?
Yeah. Let's not forget, early on the season, he was a perfect partner for Aurier down the right. He was doing such a good job. Yes, it wasn't his ideal position, but the fact he was working so hard for the team said to me his heart's in it. His 2 misses against Liverpool really changed the course of his season, really, didn't he? The stick he got after that. But for
Jose,
me,
he just lost faith in him, didn't he? It shattered his confidence.
It did, and he got a lot of stick. For me, I know we'll discuss it later, but there's so many players ahead of Bergwijn. He's probably 10th or 9th in that
priorities.
If that. With regards to Bale, I've said it so many times. For the money he's on, he's not justified his stay. Guys, let's be honest. He's probably played 6 good games for us. 6 good games.
Yeah.
For a player who's on nearly £250,000, it just doesn't sit right with me. I know a lot of people have made a big deal about his comments. He did well on international duty and they've taken the wrong way. I was one of them. It didn't sit right with me. It still doesn't sit right with me. I understand it was a different environment, and he probably didn't mean it the way. I'm sorry, you're old enough, you're ugly enough to know what's going to be made a big deal and what's not. So for me, he shouldn't have said it, and his management. But the bottom line is, yes, when he's turned up, he's been world class. The goal against Southampton, I don't think there's anyone apart from Harry Kane who could score that goal. But I'm sorry, if you're on that money and you have 7 good games for us in a season, yes, it's not been given the chances, but when you do get the chances, show you're worth your medal, and he's not done it for me. So great. It was a lovely fantasy when he arrived. It was it was fantastic seeing him back in a Spurs shirt, but sorry, mate. And I'm sorry, I'd rather sell 3 Gareth Bales than a single Bergwijn right now.
Do you think another thing about bringing Bale back was maybe to try and take away from the fact that we bring in a name back that someone the Spurs fans love, was just to appease the fans, just because it was Gareth Bale. It was kind of like we could get him for basically nothing. We just pay his wages.
Do you know what it was, Dan?
Wasn't it? It's a combination, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I think so.
Marketing, world recognition, name,
nostalgia.
What do you keep him ring? Yeah.
Do you know what I think it was, lads? So we were in the hunt for all these centre backs, trying to improve our defence. And I firmly believe Bale was brought in to cover up the fact, keep the fans off their back.
Yeah.
Just bring in Gareth Bale. Everybody's going to be happy. People are going to take their mind off the defence for a little while. And it worked. It worked. It did work. You know what I mean? Because everyone was too busy sitting there jacking off over Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale's back. So it worked in hindsight. And it's only October, November when we were sitting here and be like, holy shit, our defence is shit. Why didn't we sign proper defenders? You know what I mean? So it worked. It did work.
Mourinho wanted.
Yeah, it is. Paul Markey in here with a super chat. He says, Ten Hag has done nothing except the Champions League semi 2 years ago. The Dutch league is championship level. P.S. Don't Bergwijn. No, look, I don't believe Ten Hag is the answer either, to be honest with you, Paul. But look, where do we go from here? This is the thing. Nobody knows.
The problem is, he's probably the best manager available right now. Like, I think if you're gonna pick someone for philosophy and style and also how they work with youngsters, he's probably the best options. Again, you could say out of a bad bunch, right? Like, because I think someone like Graham Potter, he just, again, that is a huge risk as well, because he hasn't been to a club like Ajax, essentially, right? It might not be a big club, but it's a bigger club than Brighton, right? They've won Champions Leagues. They're huge, right? The culture of Ajax is massive, right? And someone like Brighton, he's been fighting relegation. Yes, they play great football, but still, I know they haven't had the players for it. But is he going to transfer that to these players? And I think someone like Graham Potter, I don't know if he can work with youth as well as someone say like Ten Hag, and that's why I think Ten Hag is the best out of you could say a bad bunch in a way.
Are we talking about the managers later, Dave? Is that a topic we've got later, mate, or?
I'm not 100% sure. It's strapped short today, later. So I'm not 100% sure. But I will be doing streams tomorrow on managers and everything else anyway. But big up Paul Markey. Anybody else wants to be like Paul Markey, get your super chats in. Look, it's a great way to show your support for the channel as well. I have a lot big plans coming, and I'm relying on the super chats and stuff like that with no sponsor. Be able to sit here and make these short shows happen. And believe me, I won't disappoint you. I have some massive stuff lined up and planned for future content. But Jack, do you want to fire away with the next question, man?
Yes, absolutely. And Bob, by the way, we're going to be talking about Ten Hag later, and that will involve some of the managers. So we'll get to it. So this is also in relation to the managers as well. But we can go on and say, are there any managers out there capable of exceeding expectations without the support of the board? Levy, Enoch, similar to that of Pochettino. So we kind of feel that Pochettino definitely exceeded his expectations without any support. Is there a manager out there that's capable of a similar feat?
Not under this board.
Not with this board. You don't think someone can exceed?
I said this yesterday to yourself and the bun. It's irrelevant. We could get the best manager in right now, regardless of the players. The players are average. We know that. It's in front of our eyes. We understand that. The board need to show direction. The board need to show what their plan is, and they need to communicate that to us fans. And then we will understand what kind of manager. We got associated with 5 different managers in one day, guys. 5 different managers in one day. That's embarrassing. That shows lack of leadership, lack of direction. You know, my biggest qualm with Jose was not finding an identity on the pitch. We ain't got an identity in the board. We don't know what their plans are. Relay that to us fans, then we can probably accept a Potter, accept a Ten Hag, accept a Gareth Southgate. But we need to know which way they're heading, what their future is, what their future vision is, and then we can basically sing from the same hymn sheet. Every single person in our club needs to have the same vision, needs to have singing from the same hymn sheet. That includes the board, the recruitment, the manager, the players, and the fan. We all need to be in one direction. And at this moment, we're all over the fucking place.
Well said, Bob, but it's disappointing to find out that there is no Messiah manager available for us, but I agree with you 1,000%. Going up to you, David, what do you think? Is there a Messiah manager available similar to Poch in the past?
No, there's not, to be honest with you. I do think, Pochettino probably got the best out of what people are going to get out of this board, in my opinion. The likes of, we already had Danny Rose coming through, we already had the likes of Kyle Walker, players like that. So they were brought in young, identified to come in, and for someone to take them on and turn them into the players they were. So he had the best of that bunch. And in terms of the fact that we're now left with a lot of players that weren't Pochettino's first choice players to call on. Yeah. And for me, it's gone that bad. It's not going to take one transfer window to fix this unless you have 300-400 million to throw at it. You know what I mean? It's going to take a number of windows. And do I think any manager can come in and turn these players who cannot do the basics, which is pass, control, and move? Spurs actually invented pass and run football. Spurs invented the pass and run, push and run football. Spurs invented it. And these players can't even do the basics of what our club is founded on. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. And no matter what manager comes in, I don't think is going to get any better out of them. In fact, what I say, what manager comes in, we need to make sure it's going to keep us up. He's going to do the best. He's going to do the best he can with this squad, because I firmly believe if we didn't have a manager like Jose who will change things up, will change formations, change styles, this, that, and the other, imagine how much worse some of these results would have got. Imagine how much worse it would have got. And for me, I think if we are going to appoint a manager without rotating this squad, you need an experienced manager who will make ballsy decisions. If not, you need to bring in a manager that you firmly identify that's going to come in, that's going to bring an identity, a style of play. But not only that, you have to let him clear out 8 or 9 players, like Pochettino done when he came in, and you have to let him bring in his own players. Like we already have the likes of Skip, Sessegnon, Scarlett, Harvey White, Dennis Sorkin, players like that, with that Ten Hag could probably work with. But nothing is going to change until we get rid of the deadwood, because the players have the power at this club.
Yeah.
And I've said this all along. People looking from the outside in are not gonna look at Tottenham and say, "Oh well, Jose Mourinho, Pochettino are the bad managers." You had the world's best manager and the world's best up and coming manager in Pochettino. So the two of them, if you're looking at it from the outside in, you're looking at it and you're like, what's the common denominator? Levy failed them both. Levy failed them both. So whether you're an up and coming manager with a point to prove, or an experienced manager on your last couple of jobs, your last kind of way to make your mark in football, why would you stake your reputation on Tottenham? And that's why you're seeing the likes of Gareth Southgate, people getting an absolute raging hard on for fucking Potter, Harry Potter. This is who this guy thinks. This is who they think this guy is. Oh, his XG. Let's appoint him on his XG. No, you know what I mean? The reason why his strikers are shit is probably because his man management is shit. But yet they complained about man management when it came to Mourinho. They're creating all the chances, the strikers can't finish them. Is that to a lack of quality? I don't think so. Mope is a good finisher. Aaron Connolly can finish. I've seen him finish for, you know what I mean? So I don't think that's the case. For me, Harry Potter's not the answer. And like I said, it's a poison chalice. This next manager, this appointment is definitely going to tell us the direction the club's going in. If you're getting an old, wily experienced head, we're not changing this squad anytime soon. If you get a young lad like Ten Hag or someone like that, hopefully he can come in, instill the philosophy from Ajax that they have from the age group right the way through up. If you're going to bring him in, use his knowledge of what they do at Ajax. If that's the modern Tottenham want to be, where they bring in players and sell them on for profit, get all the knowledge from Ajax. They're the best in the business at it. Bring through youngsters and sell them on for profit. So if that's the way you want to go, fucking do it. I don't care what way they go. I just want them to commit to one way and do it fucking properly. That's it. But sorry, I know Bob's been hanking to come in.
No, that's fine. I don't want Ten Hag in, Graham Potter in, fucking Alex Ferguson from 20 years ago. I don't want none of them in if the board aren't going to change their ways. If they're not going to change their ways and they're going to keep it like this, fucking Mason in, Ryan Mason, keep him in, because we don't want to be destroying another potential. Ten Hag's a sought after manager. He's one of the better ones out there. And if he comes in under the remit, how the board are running this club at the moment, we're going to destroy him. First and foremost, even before we can think about a manager coming in, we need to the board needs to sort themselves out, and they need to prove to us that they have sorted themselves out and they have got a direction. Sell Enix being sold, or Enix saying it's very unlikely Enix are going to get sold, so we're stuck with Enix. What they have to do is change their ways. They need to bring the fans on side. But like I say, the biggest thing for me is an identity and a vision, and it's got to start from the top. And then once that's in place, then we can get a manager who can share that vision, who can share that identity, and then we can get the players, and then we can get the fans, and the fans will always be on board. One thing about Spurs fans, no matter how shit it gets, we're always loyal. We'll always back our players. We'll always back the manager if we can see that we're going the right way. But it's the board. Nothing else matters right now. Nothing else matters. I don't give a shit about players coming in, managers coming in. Nothing matters to me right now apart from that fucking board level, who need to sort themselves out and show us a vision that we believe in, and everything else will fall into place.
Beautifully said. I got to come down to Danny. Danny, I know you're part of the PR team for Gasparini. So is he the Messiah? I'll come to you here. Is he the Messiah? Yeah, David.
Just before we let Danny answer, I'll just get this super chat in. Skippy SC says, top respect to you, David. Poch was your best shot. Fully agree, man. Fully agree. What more can I say? I'm just gutted that Poch isn't here. So I think we all are. It kills us talking about Poch. But sorry, go ahead, Danny.
No, I mean, I've been banging on about this for ages as well. I completely agree with what you boys have all said. I mean, to be honest, it's the board, and unless they change how they run this club, nothing's ever going to change. I'm sorry. I don't want to be the bringer of bad news, but it's never going to change. It will never, ever change. We're going to go in the same fucking cycle, year in, year out, giving the Spurs fans false hope, like we're slowly building something, and then it just comes crashing down again because the players just can't handle it, and they down tools, and then they don't like it. So unless the core of this squad is ripped out, then nothing's changing. Like, it's these players are pathetic. They are pathetic. They shouldn't even be called fucking professional footballers. They're a joke, right? So, as much as I would like to see someone like Gasperini or someone like Ten Hag like try and implement their philosophies, if Daniel Levy goes above them like he did with everyone else, right, and says, "Oh no, I'm not going to sell him because he could be worth that in 2 years' time," or like Dele Alli, right, or maybe I'll keep Winks for another year. I think he could come good again. He's only 25. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he does that, then you're basically, what is the point in hiring a manager? Because again, you're going over the manager's, what he's suggesting, the guy who's been brought in to run the club, to run the team and pick the players to play a match, and it will never work. Like, nothing's ever going to work unless they change the way they run the club, and that's the sad reality of it. And like, I'm kind of a little bit, I'm going a bit more with Bob on this. Like, I'd rather keep Ryan Mason in there, to be honest with you. If they don't have a vision, right? If they've got no vision, right, and they haven't told the fans, right, this is what we want to achieve in the next 5 years, right? We're going to start by clearing out the squad. If they just leave it and just don't tell us anything, and we don't know what's going on, what's the point? Because I'll tell you one thing, right? I'll tell you this now, right? If Ten Hag is brought in, give it a year and a half, 2 years time, they're going to sack him because he won't be able to achieve what they want him to achieve, because they're not going to give him the tools to achieve it.
And they're not going to look at themselves.
Yeah. And look, I just want to take this chance to absolutely shit all over Gareth Southgate's parade. If this guy comes to Tottenham, I swear to fuck, I'm going to let loose. Honestly, right? Gareth Brown-Nose Southgate. The only reason why Levy wants him in, and please, people, I'm begging you, Spurs fans, especially the ones that still tells me Winks is good because you're deluded.
Oh, don't.
You know, Gareth Southgate. The only reason why Levy wants Gareth Southgate, right, is because he's a yes man. You know what I mean? That's exactly what he is. He's a yes man. He won't speak out of turn. You see him at the English FA anytime in press conferences. He's the good little Gareth Southgate. You know, has his hair perfection. He speaks all the lingo, all the right shit you want to hear in the press. You know, and that's why Levy wants him in, because there'll be no negative press coming out of Tottenham. Everything will be hunky-dory. Everything will be cosy. You know what I mean? And that's why they want Brown-Nose Southgate in. Not because he's a good manager, because he's not. Look at the squad and the core and the group of players he has to pick from, and he still fucks it up and bottles it. Still, you know what I mean? So for me,
relegation.
Yeah, Gareth Southgate cannot come to this club. I swear to God, and people better not even hype this up.
If he
if it happens, people need to go and stop it from happening. Just you know what I mean? Just block him from getting into Hotspur way.
I'll fucking throw my season ticket in the bin. I'm not going to watch Tottenham with Gareth Southgate as their fucking manager. It's not happening.
No. There's no justification, and I think, like Dave says, it will say more about the board than the actual manager.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
You know, if Gareth Southgate is approached, do you want to become Tottenham's manager? He will. He's not going to turn it down. Massive. Why would he turn it down? But it will say more about the ambition of the board, really.
I think they are going to get Ten Hag, though. I think they're going to get him. I think now they're going to get him, because I've seen reports in the Netherlands, because my missus, obviously, she supports them, and she sends me news, and the way they're talking about it in Holland, right, on the news in Holland, is that he actually wants a new challenge and things like that. And they literally, so Saturday when they wrap up the league, they could start negotiation with Spurs, basically. So I think unless Spurs don't want him, then he'll just sign another contract with Ajax. But I think they want him, and I think it's going to happen. To be honest.
Let's hope so.
100%.
That would be the best option.
Just before we go, the next question, Timman007 says, every Spurs fan needs to be at the stadium on the 15th of May and need to show the board how we feel. And more importantly, do not stop the protest. Big up, Timman. Fully agree. Everybody, it's the 15th of May. Get there. If you can't, I am going to look to set up a petition. Everyone can sign it. We'll make sure Tottenham get it. You know what I mean? We'll get it over to Ben and Sim. Maybe they can personally deliver it. Who knows? But don't worry. Every Spurs fan needs to play their part, and I fully think they will. I think everybody's just had enough now. Tin Man 007. Thank you for the super chat. Everybody else, keep getting your super chats in. If you've enjoyed the show, even if you haven't, why not show some support? Get your views and your opinions in. But I will keep getting everybody's comment up anyway. But sorry, Jack. Go ahead with the next question, my man.
No, thank you, David. So this is, I hope you guys aren't getting sick of Ten Hag, because this is the big Ten Hag question. So Spurs, as we've been speaking about, are rumored to be in talks with Ten Hag. Ten Hag, as we know, enjoys a lot of possession while still pressing high up the pitch without the ball, similar to the German system, but with the Dutch system, as we know, it's a bit more total football. It's a bit more possession-based. And so if Spurs were to adopt Ten Hag's philosophy or his style, then which players do you see adapting to his style best, and which players do you see it, incapable of adapting to him? Let's start with players who do you think would thrive under Ten Hag?
I think he'll probably be quicker to go through a list that won't.
Dyer's going to be the best one, mate. He'll be the best one.
Reguilon will definitely take to it. I think he has the potential. Mr. Anonymous, a.k.a. Ben Davies, he's not going to last. We've already seen it. Okay, people say he can defend, which he can't because he turns like a roundabout and he's always 15 yards inside. You know what I mean? He's taking social distance too literally. And for me, I don't think I've ever heard even the biggest Ben Davies defender say he's good at passing and crossing. So you can straight away strike him off. But anyway, he shouldn't be here anyway if he can't do the basics. Because Ten Hag's football is the basics. So Ben Davies can't do it straight off the bat. Moon boots definitely can't do it.
God.
No way. Concrete feet. You can't even get off the ground to win a header, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? He definitely won't be able to play it. Toby Alderweireld probably will, but he's probably a bit over the hill for me. I think Joe Rodon, would be a great shout under Ten Hag.
Him and Sanchez in the middle, they could be.
No, Sanchez, no. GPS has to go. He's another one.
He's still ahead of him.
Yeah, I prefer Tanganga, but they're not going to sell Sanchez. And also, he was trained by Ten Hag for 1 year.
Yeah,
that's the point. He did get the best out of him, so there is a point there. But you never know.
Yeah. No, look, I to be honest, I agree with Danny. I don't think we will sell him, but I don't think he's good enough.
I don't want
Doherty and Aurier, honestly, they may as well go do some strawberry picking or something because they haven't a hope. They haven't a hope. You go into
too good for strawberries.
Sissoko, Jesus Christ, he may as well just retire. He hasn't a hope. He just hasn't a hope. You know what I mean? He is a concrete wall. The ball just bounces off the fucker.
He can't even kick a ball.
Winks probably could do it, but only if it's sideways because he doesn't know how to go forward. So for me, look, I think he should be gone anyway. Then you're going into, I think Højbjerg will be okay, Ndombele will be okay, the Celso will be okay. Lucas Moura's son, I think they'll all be okay. It's just the regulars really. That's it.
The defense is aft.
Yeah. I think anyone in that squad, right, can play the way that he would want to play, especially if they get their fitness up. Because we know at the moment it seems like all of them, like Ndom Hamburger, fucking can't even play 90 minutes. I mean, like if all of them get their fitness up, which I think what someone like Ten Hag would do. Because of the way he coaches and the way he uses scientific data and stuff like that, and the new technology for coaching and training and analyzing data and all that kind of stuff. I think everyone in that squad can play the way he wants to, except the ones that need to leave the club because they're just not good enough footballers.
Let's just read out this super chat, mate, because it makes. He's back there. Go on,
no, Jack, you can take over. It's your show, Jack. You take the super chats. I'll bring them up.
Is it? Jack.
All right, we got a super chat in from Alex Burleton.
I made it, mummy.
Made it today. Finally. Big up, Alex. Alex Burleton. Sorry if I said that wrong. I have a question. Do you guys think you will be able to... I have a question. Do you guys think we'll be back to square one again in another 18 months with this board in place?
100%. If their mindset doesn't change... If their mindset doesn't change, if their vision doesn't change, and then there's no change, and they carry on the way they are, 100%. I'd say 12 months. Now, I know we're talking about Ten Hag coming in and everything, and if the players be able to fit. I'm hoping the only reason Ten Hag will be brought in is because the board have backed him and have had that change of vision and then hopefully he'll be able to bring his players in. So the likes of Dyer not fitting in and Aurier not fitting in will be irrelevant, because the only reason he's been brought in, I'm hoping the only reason he's been brought in is because the board are going to back him. And if he wants a fucking defender, they'll get him a defender. If he wants a right back, they'll get him right back. Lavinia is paid 80 odd minutes. He showed more attacking intent in that Europa League game than what Aurier and Doherty have done all season.
He did.
So give him a chance, and he likes playing with the youngsters. That sounded so wrong, but you know what I mean.
After Wenger plays with kids.
Big up Alex Bergwijn for the super chat.
He was on the stream yesterday as well, Alex. Big up, Alex. Thanks for yesterday as well.
Big yourself up, Alex. And one more here for you to read out, Jackie.
Yeah, big up Matthew here with the super chat. Hi, the Irish hotspur. How are you? I'll be attending the protest. Enoch and Levy out. Come on, you Spurs.
Good luck.
That's what I'm talking about, Matthew. I'm good. I hope you're keeping well, my man. And please do attend the protest. Anybody, look, you have more than enough time. Book the day off work if you're working. Book it off. Get down there. Play your part. And worldwide fans, you can also play your part. Just absolutely spam anything Tottenham put out. Just hashtag Enoch out underneath. Don't let them breed. That's what we can do. Big up Matthew Collins.
Big up yourself. And in the protest. I love it.
Yeah, 100%.
Do we feel like that was a brilliant answer, by the way, earlier with Dave? That was brilliant on all the players that wouldn't fit under Ten Hag. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's true, though. It's the truth, you know. It's the truth. It's these players just can't do the basics. And to be honest with you, I actually firmly believe Jamie Carragher probably looking at my channel, to be honest, because it's all stuff I've been saying for months about some of these players. Months. Yeah. You know, they can't do the fundamentals. I've been saying it months. I've been saying it even before Jose got sacked. Sack Jose all you want. Teams are not going to change. We still have these same shit.
Dave,
sorry, I'm going to stop before I go too mad.
We've been saying this for 2 years. We've been saying this for years.
It's just, it's getting unbearable now. Honestly, I think by next season, if we're talking about the same thing, I'll be joining the ball squad, which is Brian, Will, Cody, and Bob. I'll be joining them. You know, because I'll have no hair left. I'll be pulling it all out. But sorry, guys. Do you want to answer Jack's question there?
Yeah, guys. Which players do you see not fitting under Ten Hag's system, and which players do you see maybe thriving under it?
Yeah, I think Dave's pretty much mentioned it, mate. And like I say, hopefully the youngsters will get a chance. You know, the likes of Scarlett, Lavinia we just mentioned, Skip's coming back. You know, Sirkin's there as well. We've got the likes of Harvey White. The only young player I can't see really progressing, and he's been there for 2 seasons now, is Clark, Jack Clark. I've not seen enough of.
Don't understand that.
Yeah, Troy Parrott. There's
That's a joke, by to be honest with you.
As well. But with regards to who can't play, we could all see that. We're a knowledgeable bunch. We've seen Spurs play all season. We know the likes of Sissoko ain't going to be able to fit in there. Personally, I don't think Winks will be able to play. He likes playing possession football, but Winks always takes one too many touches.
Can't pass a ball.
He can't. Aurier, Doherty, like Dave's already said. Toby, he's got another year in him, and hopefully, if he gets a young, there's every chance Toby and Roden might be our first choice going into next season. Yeah. But it's about Toby managing those games. Tanganga should start more in central defence. Up front, I'm getting more and more convinced that Kane's going to stay. Sonny, I'm more worried about Sonny going than Kane. Lucas got another year in him. Get rid of Lamella. The Celso a bit more bulk on him, a bit more muscle on him. He'll do better. And then Dembele just needs to cut all the shit out and just play football. He knows he's got the skill. He tries too much sometimes. Lose a bit of weight, put a bit of muscle on, and he could be, without exaggeration, the best midfielder in the Premier League. Puts his mind to it. Comment. He could be the best central defender in the Premier League.
I completely agree, Bob. I was going to say, I saw an interesting comment back there where I was talking about Lloris under maybe Ten Hag. Yes. Where Ten Hag, we know we would have a lot more possession. Danny, I'm going to come to you with this. Do you think that Lloris do you think he could manage with a lot more possession, maybe being a bit more of a sweeper keeper? How do you see him managing that?
I'm just going to get a drink, guys. All right. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right, mate.
Yeah, he's so not confident with his feet, and that's why, like, this season, at the beginning of the season, when he was actually playing well, and we were like, wow, he hasn't made any mistakes, right? That's because they didn't give him the ball as much, right? They didn't give him the ball as much, right? So they tried to keep it away from his feet, and that's why he was just doing his job basically without having to play from the back. For me,
I think a sweeper keeper, just because that's also kind of important now in the modern game.
Yeah, I mean,
he wasn't
at the start though.
Mm.
Remember when he first came to Spurs, he was known as a sweeper keeper, right? And he was doing that. You used to see it all the time.
Mm.
But I just think now, I think his time at Spurs is done for me. I mean, look, if we can't get anyone else in, I'd keep him for another year, right? But ideally, I want him out as well, to be honest, because he's part of this problem. He's part of this embedded fucking shit mentality that we just can't get over the line in any biggest matches. But saying that, Lloris seems to perform the best in the biggest matches. That is another thing. So I know, like, look, he's gonna go, right? He's gonna go. It just depends on what he wants to do, to be honest. If he wants to go this summer, get rid of him and let's see who they bring in. If not, keep him for another season and then try and get someone next season. But he's not the ideal one you want to build your future around, have him as part of your core to build on. I think they need someone who's good at the feet, who's just like a younger, sort of more compatible version than Lloris, basically.
What were you gonna say there, David?
Oh no, just Alex Burton. Big up, new channel member, by the way, my man. Big yourself up. Fan show tomorrow. I hope to see you there, lad. Sorry, Jack, go on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with Danny there. I think Lloris in the past definitely was. He was the cat, of the past, very athletic, could be the sweeper keeper, but in the Premier League, it's just you have to stay switched on and you have to be able to do a lot more than what you were asked back then. And so it's just unfortunate. He's been a true legend for the club, but in my opinion, I'm not sure if he's up for possibly taking on that extra role. But since we don't have Bob here, maybe to answer it, I can easily move on to the next one unless someone has some last minute thoughts on Ten Hag or the players that won't fit.
No, just echo what Joseph says here. Winks likes playing possession football, but he's just not good at it.
Fucking
Dutch sideway passing. He's going to be good at the Dutch sideway passing.
But do you know what, right? I genuinely think if he can stay fit, it's a big if. I think Lo Celso could thrive under someone like Ten Hag's system.
Who?
I said Lo Celso. I think Lo Celso could thrive if he stays fit. That's a big if.
I'm not sold on Lo Celso. I'm really not. I just think I don't think he's going to improve. I think Lo Celso's biggest problem is probably his decision making and how quick he is at it.
Yeah, that is one thing. But
to be fair, Dave, to be fair, he's been played down the right as well a couple of times, and
it's bullshit.
That's not his. I think Lucas playing so well in number 10 kind of scuppered his chances of playing in his favourite position as well, because Lucas has been on such good form. Going forward, obviously the future is someone like Lo Celso in that number 10. But Lucas has been doing it for us this season in that number 10 position. Hence the reason Lo Celso hasn't been able to play in his favourite position, and they've been pushing him out wide. So I think just need to refresh next season. Hopefully under the new manager who understands him a bit more, and I think we might see something different of him, Dave.
Yeah,
keep faith, mate. For another season, give him another season.
I want to say something, Dave, as well, right, on Lo Celso. Yeah, because I think right. Obviously, they brought him and Ndombele in, right. But I don't think they really looked at the positions that these two players actually play their best football in, because what they really needed was someone who could play as that number 10 and someone who could play as that number 8. But what they've realised is Ndombele can't really play as a number 8 because he's not really defensive. He doesn't work hard enough in defensive abilities. And Lo Celso, his best position really is number 10, right? So what they've done is, rather than getting someone like of high quality like Lo Celso, Bruno Fernandes, who they should have got as a number 10, it's like they've brought in Lo Celso and they've kind of thought, oh fuck, we've kind of just got two players who play in the same position now. We're kind of fucked. And that's how I see it, right? I kind of see it like that, because if you're really looking at it properly, you would have brought someone in definitively for that number 10 position and someone for that number 8 position. And I think they thought that maybe they could rotate, but both of them now finding out, one of them's always injured, so he hardly can build up his match fitness, right, to even be good enough in as a number 8, which is Lo Celso. And the other one, he's playing, but he's so unfit that he can't even play like fucking 60, 70 minutes. Do you know, he plays 60, 70 minutes a game, and that's it. And then his defensive abilities is shocking, mate. It's
what a brilliant comment.
Quickly.
What a brilliant comment. That's really...
Rico says, Joe Hart to be our first choice keeper. This guy is very vocal while commanding our defence line in UEFA Europa League. Look.
He's a gooner. It must
Rico,
please tell me
I've been trying my best. I've been trying my best to, wake up the whole fan base about some of these players. Yeah, and you've just gone and undone everything I've done. Because it just shows to me, that people just aren't awake yet to what's going on. Joe Hart has been shit for years, donkey's years. The only reason why he was brought in was to fill the English quota, and no other reason. And that's the only reason, and that's why we loaned Gazzaniga out. Please, Rico, I beg you. I know it's 11:15 at night, but wake up, please.
Also, he's a fucking joke, that guy, Joe Hart.
Big up Alex Burleton with another big super chat. Thank you for helping out the channel here. You guys think if we get Hag in, it's going to persuade Levy any way, shape, or form to buy or sell the players, or will it always be profit oriented?
Look, we're always going to be profit oriented. That's the way these guys work. Levy, Joe Lewis, Tavistock, Enoch, investment firms. They invest on things, more or less sure things that they think is, going to be profitable at the end. So unless they change their entire business overnight, it's always going to be profit oriented, Alex. Guys, do you want to say something quickly, Alex?
Yeah, if I was Hag and it was going to be a case of they're going to struggle to get players out. Let's remember the revenue that they're going to generate by getting the players out is going to be hopefully used towards transfers. So if Hag asks the right question to Levy, and then he can say, we need to move out on these particular players. We can't hold on to them. What's your view on that? And if the view is no, they're not going unless we get the right, profitable and all this. Then if I was Hag, I'd tell them to go and fuck themselves. We don't want. I don't want a Hag under that pretense. I don't want a Hag at my club under that mindset from the board.
Any manager.
Saying that. Any manager whatsoever. Stick with Ryan. If that's the case, stick with Ryan Mason. Ryan Mason in.
I like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Jack.
All right. I'm going to be moving on, guys.
Danny, did you want to say something there?
No, I was just going to go say, like, if people think someone like Klopp or Pep could do a better job than Mason, they're wrong. Because I'll tell you one thing, them guys spent so much money to fucking get where they are. And if you think they're going to make Eric Dyer and Sissoko play better football than they do, you're fucking wrong, mate. But honestly, no one can do a job at this club if the way they run the club. It doesn't change.
And big yourself up, Alex. Everybody else, take the pressure off Alex. Get in your super chats. Don't be afraid. We do accept them here.
I think you said he was from Texas too, Alex. So big up from Texas. I love that state.
Big up.
Yeah. He was on our stream yesterday, wasn't he?
Oh, wait 1 second. Matthew Collins doesn't want us to answer questions. Big up, Matthew.
Okay, big up, Matthew. If Joe Hart becomes our first choice next season, we're stuffed. Next season will be over before it gets started.
I think he was saying tongue in cheek, wasn't he? He was only being sarcastic, I think.
Big up Matthew Collins. No, look, I fully do agree with you, though. Because Gazzaniga is loaned out, I do firmly believe Hugo Lloris probably knows he's on his way to Paris this summer. That's just my opinion. And so Gazzaniga was loaned out to get first-team football, but he's not playing. So Joe Hart probably will step in, but if that happens, it's going to be a very, very long, hard season for Tottenham because we all seen the calamitous mistakes.
We'll get poping.
But 100%. But go big up yourself, Matthew. Go on, Jack. Next question, man.
He's not good with his feet as well, Pope.
No, not really.
But mate, he's best of a poor bunch, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's just like I'd rather keep Lloris if I'm honest. If he's gonna,
he was free. That's why we got him.
Okay, guys.
Great.
Let's move on to the next question. Big up Matthew Collins for all the super chats. Thank you for sending them in. Thank you for helping out the Irish Hotspur. Please, everyone else, send in your super chats if you want us to stop in the middle of discussion.
100%. Next question, Jack. Fire them at us, man.
Will do. Okay, so from here, we're going to be talking about if Son and Kane were to be sold soon. So if Son and Kane were to be sold soon, what percentage of their transfer fees do you envision the board will use to reinvest back into the quality of the squad? What percentage of the total fees that we make do you see them reinvesting back into the squad?
For me, look, to be honest with you, Jack, I think whatever covers the pandemic losses and everything else, and whatever's left, which will probably be about, what, 2-3 million, that's the percentage we're going to get. So probably about
David,
2%.
that's generous,
Honestly,
mate. You fucking pack of peanuts, mate.
No, honestly, whatever comes in for them guys, it'll cover losses, and then whatever's left, you might be able to go and, go and get Daniel from Division 2 or something like that. You never know. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to be left with. I firmly believe we have to sell to buy this summer. So I'd probably go about 20-30%, to be honest with you. That's my opinion on it. I do think they'll take whatever they can to cover the losses, and then after that, we'll get what's left and may do.
Yeah, the only reason I was laughing at that in the beginning was just out of pure fear, not out of how ridiculous that sound. I'm just completely agree. I could see them doing that anytime.
Let's be realistic. So let's be realistic. So Kane, if we did sell him this summer, say about 170. Yeah, on average. Say about 170.
That's what
and then with Sonny, get 80 for him. That's 250 million for us. So we'll probably get about £4.50 of it. And then we do it all depends. Again, I sound like a broken record. It depends what kind of mindset and what kind of vision and what changes the board are going to have within their structure. And if it's going the way it's going at the moment, then spot on, Dave. What Dave says, 30% is going to be is likely to be the percentage that we're going to have to work with. If it's a big change, hopefully they'll bring a Ten Hag in. We won't sell Kane. We'll probably sell Sonny, and hopefully you'll get at least 75% of it, plus whoever else will sell. But right now, if the board have the mindset of what they've got at the moment, plus we sell Kane, plus we sell Son, sorry, Wayne, we are fucked.
Yeah. Got a super chat in here from the Hotspur Hazza. We've spoken with him before. He's a great guy.
Yes,
Hotspur Hazza. Great show tonight, guys. Come on, you Spurs. No, big up yourself, Hotspur Hazza, as David likes to say. Big up yourself.
Hey, Mr. Daigle.
Brian Daigle with the big one. Thank you, Brian, so much for helping out us. Guys, don't panic. Hitchin has identified our next big, strong commanding goalkeeper. He's on his way to see Willy Wonka to negotiate a fee for the Oompa Loompas.
Oompa Loompa, Oompa Dee Doo.
How many Oompa Loompas do we envision getting in this summer?
Big up, Brian. I absolutely love that, man. Brian. That is hilarious. Oh, man. But big up, Brian and Tottenham Hazza, or Hotspur Hazza as well, or Hamza. Big yourselves up for the super chat. Absolute legend, Hotspur Hazza. And Brian Daigle, I'm awarding you super chat of the day, my man. That's absolutely backing me up. That is brilliant. Big yourself up, Brian. Of course, from Tottenham away. Everybody get over, check it out. These boys are just motoring around very smoothly, very nicely. Be a part of their journey and make it as easy as possible. And smash a subscribe on the channel. Don't worry, Bob, I haven't forgotten about you, but we'll give you the big grand finale at the end to promote your channel, my man. Big up to the super chats and everyone else. Get your super chats in. But go on, take it back over. Where are we?
We haven't gotten a percentage yet from Danny here.
Yeah, I was going to say what David said, basically 20. My instinct thinks,
£4.50.
Yeah, probably. No, like if I'm being realistic, I think probably about 20 to 30% max of if they sell both of them. But I'm telling you right now, none of them are going. I'm gonna call it now.
Oh, that's a good take. I like that. Do you guys envision either Son or Kane going, or both this summer, or maybe next summer?
I got a funny feeling Son's going to go.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
Contract. It doesn't take that long to sign a contract, and it's taken way too long. And
but if you read what they were saying, right? That they were going to wait till the end of the season because a lot of players, if you look now, right, how many players have signed contract extensions during this pandemic year, right? What I saw the reports on was that a lot of players it's not happening because of how the clubs are being affected, and they're going to wait till the end of the season, and clubs are going to decide who they want to give a contract extension to. There's been, I think, one or two, but that's about it. But big players, they're going to wait till the end of the season. So what I heard was that Son, I think, does want to stay. But we'll see what happens, right? I think Son's decision will be influenced by what Kane wants to do, right?
Right.
And I'll tell you one thing. I don't know whether he will sign it. It'll be difficult to say he's going to sign a new contract, right? But I've just got a funny feeling that both will stay for one more season at least. I think Kane...
Hopefully, right? That's what we want.
I'll tell you one thing, right? Who's going to pay what Daniel Levy wants for Kane? 170 million or so. No one in the world right now is going to be paying that. Next season, yes, because then he'll have 2 years left on his contract and he'll be a lot cheaper to get. And then Daniel Levy will have to make a decision. If he doesn't sell him, he's going to lose him for next to nothing the season after that. And then you're going to have a player who maybe doesn't even want to be there anymore. So after that, when that 2 years comes around, he's got to make a decision. Now, Son, I don't know, man. If you're looking at, say, 70, 80 million, right? Who's really right now, which top club in the world, other than PSG, which I don't think he'll go to? Maybe that's the only club I can see him going to, but he's not going to go to City, right? So who else can pay that money?
Why not? Why wouldn't he go to City, mate? I've got a funny feeling you will.
I actually think both players will stay, lads. To be honest with you, I just don't think people have.
So do I.
See, with Levy right now, he has all the power. If he doesn't want to sell them, they're going nowhere. And for me, if he just asks for ridiculous money, no club's even going to come knocking on the door. So for me, I think right now that's exactly what he needs to do. Just ask for ridiculous money and just keep them here.
Yeah, and I saw some comments saying that Bayern want Son. Bayern don't want Son because they just bought Sane last year for nearly 60 million euros.
They are not happy with Sane. He's been shit, and I actually think he's on. I think he's on his way out the door. To be honest.
Yeah, he's been
well.
Poor.
Stop him.
So poor. So poor against.
Well, look, if Bayern decide to go in for Son for 80 million, then that's the club he'll go to. But I can't see him going anywhere else because PSG have got Neymar. Yeah. They'll have Neymar for at least another year, and he's not going to compete for the left-hand side with Neymar. That's not happening. So if Bayern don't want Sane, then that's the only other player. Juve can't afford it. Juve can't afford him.
Juve got no money whatsoever.
They've got such bad debt problems at the moment. They can't afford it.
They're worse than Inter Milan. Inter Milan are
they are worse.
They're worse.
Yeah. So
only
Bayern
guys.
then.
So I think I'm hearing 20-30% from all of you. So I completely agree. £4.50 also makes sense.
Don't forget a free Skywalk.
You get a free Skywalk for any paying club. Okay, so we're going to move on to the whole Marcel Sabitzer rumor because he's been heavily linked with Spurs. Some are saying it's possible, like 75% likely that he could be joining us in the summer. Spurs are very interested in signing Marcel from Leipzig. If we sign Sabitzer, how should our next manager organize and rotate the midfield stars of Lo Celso, Tanguy, and Højbjerg, and maybe including Lucas Moura or Lamela? If we sign Sabitzer, how does he possibly organize and kind of rotate all these, in a sense, midfield stars?
Can I just answer straight away, just in one question? Sabitzer is not coming to Spurs.
You don't think he is?
We're not going to have Champions League football. Why is he going to go to Spurs? Are we going to pay 30-odd million for a player? Come on, we've got Daniel Levy running the club. He ain't fucking paying 30 million for Sabitzer. We're going to keep Sissoko, I'm telling you.
It seems heavily linked.
For me, I actually think we do have a chance of getting Sabitzer, to be honest with you. And how we would use him, see, he can actually play on the right-hand side. He can play in the middle, and he can play as a number 10. For me, his best position is number 10. When he plays in the middle, he's a bit like Winks. He doesn't like to get stuck in. His tackle ratio is shocking.
It's awful.
But for me, with him, you play him as a number 10 or you play him out on the right. He can play either, and he's effective on both. One thing I really like about Sabitzer, and I think we actually miss at Tottenham and have for a while, is a player that can strike a ball from distance. Outside
and
the box.
Set pieces. He's a set piece.
A player that can actually, because what we try to do, we're constantly trying to walk the ball. We need a player who can actually, is not afraid to shoot. And like you've seen some of the great teams over the years where the likes of Lampard, like with Liverpool, or Lampard with Chelsea, Gerrard with Liverpool, Paul Scholes with United. They got them out of so many games because they can shoot from outside the box and they can score and they can regularly hit the tag from outside the box. So I do think he'd be a great addition to Tottenham. For me, I would actually utilise him as a number 10. I think if you could put him as number 10 with Ten Hag coming in, you can just say to Lucas with his pace, just make the runs. You don't need to be on the ball. You don't need to do anything. You just wait, pick your moment, make the run in behind. Sabitzer will find you. And that's for me how I would play him. With Ndombele, I think you'd play him in beside Højbjerg. Although I don't think he's a DM at all whatsoever. I actually think he is a number 10. But for me, there's so much in Ndombele that I've seen in Dembele. It's just, I think, is his fitness. I think what we do have to remember with this guy, it's only 3-4 years ago he was playing 6th tier in the French league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do think, it's the pace and how rapidly he's grown. He's probably grown more than building himself up to the pace of sort of these games. So, look, I do think his fitness is an issue, but if he could get that nailed on and we can get him in that number 10, that CDM role where he picks up the ball and just runs at players, that's what he's so good at. Is picking up the ball from one end and running to the other, like Moussa Dembele used to do. If we could get him just to do that role, be perfect. So for me, that's what I would do. Lo Celso, like I was saying, I'm not a big fan of Lo Celso. I think he panics too much. I think he's a bit slow on the ball. When he should be quick, he's slow. When he should be slow, he's too quick. So for me, he just doesn't do enough, and he hasn't shown me enough over his time at Tottenham to warrant him to get in ahead of Højbjerg, Ndombele, or Sabitzer. But that's the way I do Sabitzer, and I think 100%. He will be an incredible signing.
100%. I wouldn't play Sabitzer down the right or the left, purely and simply. If Kane's going to be doing what he's done this season, he's going to be coming deep. What he needs is pace either side, Sonny and I'd put Bergwijn out there next season who can latch onto those balls. If we do get Sabitzer in, Winks, Sissoko is a must, and I'll put Lamela in there. Purely and simply, if we get Sabitzer and we don't sell at least 2 of those, it means possible reduced chances for Skippy as well. Skip needs to be integrated into the first team. So we need to get all the deadwood, the other Winks and Sissoko need to go. Lamela needs to go. But for me, that's ideal. Have Ndombele and Højbjerg. Højbjerg can just sit there. Ndombele and Sabitzer can. I mean, Ndombele, if he sorts his stamina out, he can be a great box-to-box player.
Yeah.
Box-to-box player, a Yaya Toure to an extent.
Can I just say, do you remember at the beginning of the season, right, when he came back? So Ndombele came back and he looked like he'd lost weight, right? And at the start of the sort of first 10, 11 games, he was doing the defensive work as well. And you were fucking hell, this is a player now. Like, we're seeing the real Ndombele now. And then it just stopped. After that Liverpool game, he started slowly going down a bit. And you see it now and again, but it wasn't all the time. And I think the fitness side of it is part of the reason. If it goes back into what Ali Gold was saying, that a lot of players, people inside the club were saying that they weren't training like they should have been training, like, because the fitness levels were so poor with all the players. So if they do have that fitness level of like a Ten Hag team or someone like that, where they've got a high press all the time and they've got to be running like kind of like how our Poch team was in our prime years, then you could see that in Ndombele, and then he could do the defensive work as well because he's going to have more fitness and more energy about him. So I would love to see. Like, if it was me, right, I would love to see that Ndombele, because you see that Ndombele, he'd be the best midfielder in the league. 1 million percent.
Easy. And if we sort our defence out, we've got a good right back as well. Right back could work in he had a good relationship with Reguilon. Reguilon's going to track back. Sonny's going to track back. So we can afford potentially to have 2 front facing and forward thinking midfielders, be it Sabitzer but like I say, I'd hesitate before putting him out on the right or the left. Purely and simply, I think the pace that we need when Kane comes deep is so vital. But what we will get if Kane does come deep, we've got the likes of Sabitzer who can press that final line, go beyond.
The whole idea is bringing someone like Sabitzer in to play that number 10, so Harry Kane doesn't have to drop deep and do it. Because how many times have we seen this season Kane is dropping, doing deep, doing a creating role? But then if you're getting Kane to do that, you need someone then to come into his position, be in the box.
And Sabitzer will do that.
We haven't sussed that out. We just have Kane dropping deep and Son and whoever stays wide. We don't have anyone drifting in the middle, taking up Harry Kane's position. So the whole idea of getting in that number 10 would be to keep Harry Kane further up the field.
100%.
Absolutely. We got a super chat here for Kieran O'Connell. Only way Levy/Enoch would spend to rebuild is if we sold Kane, because if we would have to in order to, even Sorry. The only way Levy/Enoch would spend to rebuild is if we sold Kane, because we would have to in order to even be close to where we are in the league now. I completely agree, Kieran. Big up yourself for supporting the channel. Thank you for your super chat.
He's the Dyer look-alike, isn't he? He's the Dyer look-alike.
Yeah, that's Kieran.
He's a smart man.
Dyer.
He's a smart man. I really like what he has to say.
Kieran's a good lad.
Yeah.
Big up, Kieran. But do you know what? Because we would have to in order to even be close to where. That's probably a fair comment. But the only thing what I'd say with that is we do have to be careful on this situation, because if you take Kane out, you're taking his goals with him. So who's going to fill that void? Because we don't have good record. We have Janssen, Soldado, players like that you can pick in. And we do not have a good record of bringing in a striker. In fact, they got lucky with Harry Kane. That Harry Kane was the type of dedicated individual he was. Went out on 9 to 12 loans, I think it was, and still came back and made himself into the player he is once he got the opportunity. So they got lucky on Harry Kane. Let's be real about it. So, it's a big call to, like, I 100% get what Kieran's saying. Like, obviously there's no money there. We probably do have to sell one of them to be able to do this. But if that is the case, I'd rather sell Son than Kane, because you'll always get another winger who can integrate with Kane and assist Kane and stuff like that, but you will never, ever get another Harry Kane.
I agree.
We suck at finding number 9s.
Yeah.
We really suck at it.
Big time. Big time. Next question, Jacko.
Yeah, thank you for your super chat, Kieran. Anyone else, please send in your super chats if you want us to stop in the middle of our discussion. Now we're moving on to the next question.
He's good at this, isn't he? Any day he was good at this.
He is. That's why I picked him up, because he came on. He was asking me a lot of tough questions, and I was like, I need someone like Jack.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, boys, we're moving on to the next question. Should our next manager consider Dane Scarlett as one of the preferred backup number 9s if Kane were to stay? I love how this is flowing, given that we were just talking about strikers. Should our next manager consider Dane Scarlett as one of the preferred backup number 9s if Kane were to stay?
Do you know what? For Dane Scarlett, I actually believe he's going to. For me, I think he's very similar to Mbappe. He has pace. He's already shown, he has maturity beyond his years.
Clever too.
With some of the runs he can make from the wing position, and we've seen it in a couple of Europa League games this season. He makes very, very intelligent runs off the ball to be allowed to get the ball. The only thing he's lacking at the minute is his finishing. He's a bit raw, you know what I mean? But once that comes, he's going to be an incredible player. But I actually see him as someone that plays off the left or on the right. I think he'd be someone that plays off the left. He can make them runs in like we've seen in Europa League and then pick up the ball. And once his finishing comes, he's going to be a shit-hot player. This guy is going to be a generational talent. I think he's going to be a mercurial talent. And I think everything about him screams Mbappe sort of mold. Whether he's ever going to be as good as Mbappe, probably not. That's going to be rare. But this kid has everything to succeed. All he just needs to do is just grab a bag of balls after training. Once your training is done, do extra training on finishing. Just practice finishing.
Oh,
once that comes, this guy's going to be quality.
He's got the best person in the world to practice with in Harry Kane, mate. What better teacher who's the best finisher around than Harry Kane? So he's got the perfect person to learn off.
Yeah, he is. He is, like, and that's the thing. If I was Dane Mbappe, I'd be sitting there. You know what I mean? Soaking up everything. Kane, Son, all these players have to tell me. I'd be soaking it up. I would literally turn into a brown nose. I'd be asking them everything. I'd be annoying them. You know what I mean? I'd be like, please, can I clean your boots? Right. I'd be doing everything I can to be able to get the knowledge off these guys. I think Harry Kane is the player that would give it anyway. But for me, you're right, Danny. He's the world's best finisher to learn from. And hopefully, like I said, he's already a bit mature beyond his years, so hopefully he has that brain to know to take the advice and everything else off Kane while he's here.
What about you, Bob? Do you see Dane?
He could be a Greenwood, couldn't he? Greenwood's played a few games, but every time he's come on, he's made a difference. Even tonight, and we talked about pace over the top. If Kane comes deep, and he's got really, really good raw speed and like Dave said, he needs to concentrate on his finishing. Yeah, absolutely. There's the likes of Skippy and Scarlett and possibly Sirkin, certainly Harvey White. They should all have a more of a bigger role in the first team next season. And I think the likes of Skip and Scarlett are at the forefront of that group.
What are your thoughts on Dane Scarlett, Danny? Do you think he is maybe the one that Kane might pass the torch to, so to speak, in the future?
I think potentially, but I think we just have to wait and see how he develops. I mean, for me,
Mm.
I just hope that he doesn't turn out like a Dele Alli, and then fame gets to his head, and he turns out to be this unbelievable player, and then he just can't take the pressure of how the English media are and how society is in England, for example, and then he gets the bigger contract, and then that kind of stuff happens. I just hope that he looks at Harry Kane in every way possible as a model professional, and bases his professionalism on how Harry Kane does it. Because if he does that, he's going to be one of the best young talents on the planet, and I genuinely think that. I think he's got everything to succeed if his head's in the right direction. Because you could be a top player and have like the most unbelievable talent, but if you ain't got the mentality for that side of your to match with your ability, you're never going to be one of the world's best. That's why Harry Kane is one of the world's best, because he's got that professionalism, he's got that mentality, and he's got the ability to go with it.
It's still is cold as ice, isn't he, in front of goal. And Scarlett should do with Kane what I've been suggesting, what Roden should do with Toby. Just sponge off all the experience and learn off a master. Toby is a master. He's great at defender. He is our best defender.
One of the best Premier League defenders during his prime.
Exactly. So if I was Roden, I'd take advantage of the fact that I'm playing next to Toby, and if Scarlett gets a chance to play alongside Kane, sponge off everything you can get off Kane.
We have to call him Dane Mbappe, Bob. You're not putting enough respect on his name, lad.
Sorry, mate?
You have to call him Dane Mbappe, lad. You're not putting enough respect on his name.
I like the Mbappe comparison just because Mbappe was also a raw finisher himself when he was first at Monaco. Like he would smash one, and then the next moment he'd miss the sitter.
If he one of them, once he gets his first goal, he's just going to keep going and going and going. It's just about getting that first goal behind him, and after that, you're going to see him just rise through the ranks very, very swiftly.
I do think with the question, Jack, I think that I would like to see him given, maybe not backup, but given a more prominent role next season.
Like second backup, or right?
Yeah, like be in and around the team, maybe.
9.
Yeah, or maybe like in certain games, if we're winning the game, maybe give him like half an hour, run out, take Kane off, bring him on, play him up front for half an hour, like give him some experience, kind of thing, give him some exposure. I think that's what he needs. Like if you're winning a game 4-0 and you've got half an hour to go or 40 minutes to go, I mean, most likely you're not gonna fucking lose the game. I mean, it's Spurs though, but you never know with Spurs. But yeah, like that's what I want to see from him next season. And someone like Ten Hag, I think we'll probably give him more of a chance.
I think he will get there. I think he will get the games, to be honest with you. And I think I think he's probably already overtaken Troy Parrott's place in the squad as well, to be honest.
Oh, easily, man. That you know, Dave, man. That kid's mentality is a fucking piece of shit. Like, I mean, he's got the mentality of a 10-year-old. Do you know what I mean?
He does, but I need him to work. I've had to sit through
everyone wants
Baldrick, Shane Long. I need him to work for Ireland.
Everyone wants him to work. Imagine if you could get him right as well. If he cut out this party boy lifestyle, which I don't think he'll ever do anyway, so I don't see it happening.
He's very good friends with Dele Alli.
Yeah, mate. Says it all.
Yeah.
It says it all.
Yeah. Next question. Question, Jack.
Yes. All right. So this is on the topic of Tanganga. We kind of brought him up before, whether he's a better fullback or a center half. This is in relation to that. Is Japhet Tanganga a better fullback or a center half? In which position does he have more potential? Could he have a similar positional versatility to that of Azpilicueta? This is kind of my own opinion, but this is where I could see Tanganga reaching his full potential, is having that similar positional versatility to Aspi. I don't know what you guys think. What is his best potential? What is his best position? Where do you see him thriving or making his career out of?
Yeah, lads, do one of you want to take this first? I'm just going to grab a quick drink there.
I think that's what could make him a top player. That's who I kind of see him, not in terms of the style of player, but in terms of his versatility, and he's just as good as a centre back as he is as a right back in someone like Azpilicueta. Like, for me, I think his best position will be a centre back. And I just think that he hasn't been given the chance enough, because you got to remember, Jose brought him in, and for some reason, the only reason Jose don't like him as a centre back is because of his height, right? But does it matter if if you're playing next to someone like Joe Rodon, right? Because I'll tell you one thing, he's probably one of the strongest players in our squad, right?
Yes, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
he's one of the most athletic players in the squad. He's got all the stamina in the world. He's quick, right? So he's got those attributes for your modern day centre back, right? Apart from the height. We'll play him next to someone like Rodon, who's 6'4". Do you know what I mean? And if they can build a good partnership, they can have an amazing partnership. I mean, it doesn't height. If you're a good defender and you're positionally aware, you're tactically aware, you can jump. You don't need to be the tallest defender. Look at Cannavaro. He was World Player of the Year, and
Fernandinho, Mascherano.
Mascherano. He played at centre back for Barcelona.
Puyol wasn't even very tall.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he wasn't. So for me, the height doesn't make a difference. If you've got like the positional sense and positional awareness, and you know where to you know the areas where you need to defend and zonal marking and yeah, if you could do all those things well, that's what makes you a top centre back. Not the fucking height. The height's that's what Jose Mourinho is so deluded to fucking see. Oh, he's not tall enough, so he's not a centre back. What fucking delusional old prick he is. I mean, come on, man. I mean, Tanganga, he's got so much promise. And even when he's played centre-back, the few times you've seen him this season, he's done pretty well. For me, I prefer him in a centre-back than I do as a right-back. And
I could see him in a 3 in the back, thriving.
All
I could
that,
see him
yeah.
as a 3 in the back, like I said, the Aspilicueta position. But I completely agree with you. It's just there's so many good examples of short centre-backs that are some of the best centre-backs of all time. And it's pretty absurd to just write them off just for... And also, like you said, he makes up for it a lot with very athletic, but quality athletic ability. Yeah. So I think that was brilliantly said. David, I want to come to you. What's your opinion of Jaffet? Where is his potential? Where does he lie?
Yeah, everybody knows I'm a big fan of Jaffet. To be honest with you, I think everything about him, even down to his injury problems, screams Ledley King for me. This guy, it's one of the things I didn't agree with Mourinho on, saying he's a right back. I can get it because of his height, but like Danny was saying, look, you have Cannavaro, not the biggest defender, right? But if you're good positionally, like I think it was the great Maldini said, you should never be if you have to slide tackle, you're in a bad position, right? So, for instance, if your positioning is spot on, you don't need the height. At the end of the day, you can just have a big giant beside him to go and win all the headers. You can just have him to go and do that. You can have Tanganga drop back, mop up everything. You know what I mean? There's ways of doing that. And for me, I don't see him having the ability on the ball to play right back. And that's just my opinion. I don't think he's the sort of player that can skin a player to get out of a tight position. Do I think he'd be able to put in consistently good crosses? I don't think so. So for me, in that terms, okay, he's good defensively, but right backs are more like right wing backs nowadays, aren't they? You know, in the attacking game, you have to be able to go forward, and you have to be able to put in consistent crosses, take balls in tight situations. And Tanganga's not that sort of player. So for me, you play him as centre back, and I really like what I've seen of him. His debut against Liverpool, like Ledley King made his debut against Liverpool.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He came on, and for me, I thought it was outstanding. I thought it was absolutely outstanding. And I think you give this guy a run of 10 to 15 games, I think he's never going to look back, and I think he's going to be around for years to come. And for me, I definitely think centre-back is where we need to play him. Okay, he doesn't have the height, but like I said, you can just put someone in beside him to go and win all the balls. You know, if he concentrates on his positioning and always being positionally right, any balls that come into the box, he'll be able to deal with. You know, so it wouldn't be a problem in my opinion. So for me, Tanganga has to play centre-back. It's a must. Yeah. He's definitely not a right-back. But, Bob?
Yeah, spot on, mate. Well, even before Mourinho had stated that he sees him a right back, I always said give Tanganga a go. But it's in my eyes, Rodon and Tanganga are the future in our centre. If we don't invest, which is very very likely, we have got two really good, outstanding youngsters there, and we should be lucky about that. Rodon looks like
he looks like a player, man.
But Toby's not the tallest player, though, is he?
He's vocal as well, isn't he?
No. Yeah.
He's vocal as well. He's vocal. He likes demand. I remember him. I remember bossing Sanchez around.
Yeah,
one of the games.
He's a very vocal centre back. He's a very vocal centre back. He's a leader.
Exactly, and had a bit of experience to that, which he can get from Toby. Mate, I can see Rodon and Tanganga doing a job for us. Don't get me wrong, we still need defenders or two. But at least we've got a couple of real good youngsters there as backup. And if we get into the Conference League, we'll need them, won't we?
I'm absolutely thrilled in your guys' faith in Japhet. That's brilliant. It's absolutely great. I love him as well. I'm so glad. I love those answers just because I think the same thing. I think he does have tons of potential, and I just it was one of those moments with me with Mourinho when he just write him off for that, something that he has no control over. And like you said, Danny, really well. He really makes up for that lack of height with his athletic ability. So I just don't know what Jose was making that comment at the time.
It's all about timing.
Ledley King was one of the best people for positional awareness, right? He was just like, he had the ability, like the athleticism as well, but he just was always in the right place at the right time every single time. That's what made him such a top defender. And I think that's what Japhet could be for us. I'm not saying he's going to be at Ledley King's level, but I'm saying he could be like that kind of player for us. And like Dave said, Toby's not tall. He's what, 5'10", is he? 5'11", so 5'10",
no,
something
5'11",
like that.
something like that,
And but he kind of reminded me of how Ledley used to play. Like, he was just always in the right place at the right time. And that's what I see in Tanganga. And I really would like to see him. I'd like to see him with a defensive pairing of like Rodon, and then maybe bring in like someone like an Anderson, get rid of Dyer. He's a piece of shit. And bring maybe one more in if we could. But
he needs better influences.
Yeah,
he needs better influence. I love that you guys have that faith in him. All right, so if that's all right with you guys, this is going to be, it's a big one though, so it's going to be the last question of the night. So we're going to start with this. It's kind of regarding all the people that we want out of the club. So here I go. It is commonly agreed among Spurs fans that Doherty, Dyer, Davies, Sissoko, and Winks need to be moved on immediately. Any players missing from this list? Who needs to be sold first? How would you prioritize who needs to be sold?
Lamella needs to go.
Yeah, Lamella, that's the one that's missing.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Do you know what? In terms of shifting a few of them on, it's actually easy enough. So you have Dennis Sirkin and Sessegnon there, who you can convert into left back. So I'm not sold on Sessegnon being a left back, but you have Sirkin there. I think the reason injuries and the debt in his family is the reason why Sirkin hasn't been much more involved this year. Dennis Sirkin was the first player brought out from that under-21s team, or the under-23s, whatever you call it, when Jose first came in to be on the bench for this Tottenham team. He played pre-season. I like what I've seen of him pre-season. So for me, I actually think it's very easy to be able to sell Ben Davies in the summer because you have two players there that can step in as backup to Reguilon. Then you move into centre midfield. You can sell Winks. You bring in Sabitzer, or you bring in another centre midfielder, or not even. You bring back Skip, you sell Winks. Like for like. And there you go. That's two players straight out the door. Lamella's one that has to go anyway. That's three. Moussa Sissoko, you bring in another centre midfielder, then you sell Sissoko on. You know, or you could even actually get rid of Sissoko. We still have Højbjerg, Skip, Ndombele, and the Celso, so you could even sell Sissoko. So there's four players you can get gone straight away. Right back's going to be a bit tougher. For me, you have to sign a right back before you sell a right back. I do believe first one out the door probably will be Serge Aurier. And for me, he has to go. But the big occasions come round, you can always put all your money on Serge Aurier to fuck up and either give the free kick or penalty away that leads to us losing the game. I can count so many games he's done it on. So many games off the top of my head. And that's
Cup final.
Cup final. Leicester this year, he's done it against Juventus before. You know what I mean? In so many big games, this guy is repeatedly. Palace this year again, another one for their equaliser at Selhurst. You know, this guy repeatedly lets us down. So for me, there's four players, like I was saying, you can get gone straight away. You just recall Sessegnon, promote Sirkin, recall Skip, you know what I mean, and bring Scarlett up. That's Lamella, Winks, Davies, and Sissoko, all gone straight off the bat. Like I said, then you bring in your right back, you sell Serge Aurier. I do think we're going to have to put up a Doherty for another season.
Hard to move him on.
It'd be very hard to move him on. I think so. Then centre backs. You know, you can free one of them up to be sold. Either Toby because of his age, but me preferably, I'd keep Toby for another year. Let the likes of Rodon and Tanganga learn off him. Then that brings up Dyer or Sanchez. Which one do you want gone first? Me, I preferably Moon Boots. I'm sick of the cunt. So he has to go. He has to go.
Get him out.
So for me, then, you know, you bring in another centre back. This can actually be a lot easier than what everyone's going to make it out to be. But it can be a lot easier because we bring in the likes of Skip and Scarlett and stuff like that. There's your homegrown rule, your English quota, and then you're shipping on some foreign players so you can bring in some foreign players. So this can actually be done very easy. It's just about leaving wanting to take a loss on some of these players, which he has to do.
Yeah. That's it. That's what I was going to say. Basically, it's whether or not Levy wants to devalue what he thinks they're worth, because he's a dumb fuck and he thinks these players are worth more than what they're actually worth. So, yeah.
I think that was beautifully broken down, David. I completely agree.
Yeah,
it's
I agree
great
with
as
that.
well. But basically, you're right with everyone there. But if you look at it, we've got youngsters in every position. I mean, we don't know much about Whiteman, but we have got a young goalkeeper there. We've got Lavinia on the right back. We've got Sirkin.
I've actually seen Lavinia in a few underage games last season and this season. He is going to be good.
He's going to be good. We've got two young centre backs that we've just spoken about, Tanganga and Rodon. Midfielders, Skippy, Harvey White. Well, don't forget, we've got Alfie Devine there as well, who can play further up. We've got Scarlett.
Harvey White's a set piece specialist. Another thing we're missing out in the squad.
That's it. Yeah.
I like
Scarlett up front. So every position within our first team squad, we've got cover. We've got young people as cover, and like Dave said, it could become a lot easier. But we do need to shift some the players on. For me, the first one out has to be Dele Alli, because he's just going to.
That's another one missing from this list.
If you want money in straight away, Ali, get Ali out, get a bit of money in.
40, 50 million, Bob, what do you think? 40, 50 million for Ali?
I reckon 25 to 30 they'll get for him. No more.
Yeah.
Not in his form. Not in his form. No way. No club in his current climate is going to pay more than 30 million max for Dele Alli, and I reckon 25 is going to be.
He's got age though, isn't he?
I could see someone like Aston Villa paying 25, 30 million for him. They paid 30 million for Watkins, so that they can pay 30 million for Ali.
Ali plus 30 million for Grealish. You know,
mate, I'd fucking do that every day of the week. I'd do that every day of the week.
But for me, I always say, get the most expensive one out first, then the second most expensive, then the third, and at least you've built up your kitty. Spend that money and then get the loose ends off. So Ali for me first. Who's next in line? Who's the next? Probably, I'd say the likes probably Dyer, if anything. Dyer
would you do Dyer over Sanchez? Would you sell Dyer before Sanchez?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I definitely keep Toby. So that's what I'll do. First, most expensive. Second, third, and as you go and loose ends can go. Ori is probably worth a similar amount too. Well, then again, he's only got a year left on his contract, so I don't know. But Ali for me would have to be the first one out the door.
Interesting. Yeah, I think those are good.
To be honest with you, I actually think that the first ones out the door should be the troublemakers, the people that are bringing everybody down.
Sissoko, Aurier, Dele Alli.
Yeah.
Look, Winks is one of them as well. Winks is one of them.
He's one of the biggest ones.
Moon boot. Like, it's all these players that when things aren't going the way they want it, you know, they're crying, they're bitching, they're coming out,
pointing fingers.
They all like gang up together, innit? Yeah.
You know, all this crap, and then, you know, gang up to get the manager out. I think all the leaders like that, because let's be honest, you have leaders like Harry Kane, Son, who lead by example. They want to win. They train their bollocks off and they do everything right. And then you have leaders that, you know, as in what I would call the boys. You know, they'd rather be a shit house rather than come in and do what they're supposed to get on with and do. They'd rather upset everybody. And it's just a negative influence. So for me, I think no matter who they are, they're the core ones that have to go first.
Yeah.
Have to go first. Because you'll never get team unity when you have these sort of players at your club.
Yeah.
Especially if they aren't picked by the next manager, it's just going to continue to cycle. You're absolutely right.
That's exactly it. This is why I worry. For me, that's our biggest problem this summer. Our biggest problem is, like Dave said, getting those scumbags out of this club. They have to go because they are the ones that have caused the problems for the last 3 years in our club. Get them out. Fucking just get them out. They need to go. And if they don't, we're going to be fucked next season. I'm telling you.
Brilliant. Do you guys... I could finish with a question like this. Let's say we have 8 players on the list, that the ones that we're talking about getting out, especially thank you, Bob, for the 2 contributions of Dele and Lamela. Let's say depending on which ones we sell, obviously Dele and Lamela might sell for a bit more. Let's say we get 6 of 8 out of the club. How much do you think, again, will the club reinvest back into the squad? Will the club need to reinvest back in the squad? Are there players to replace them already in the squad? What do you think?
There's no reason, Jack, if we sold everyone, that includes the likes of Ali and Lamela. If we sold everyone and Levy wants to keep a bit of money back, I don't see a reason why I can't get 100 million. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, easy.
There's 100 million available there for sure. I agree.
I'd actually go more. I'd actually say 150 million because. So let's go through it. You have Dele Alli, probably get 40 million for him. You have Harry Winks, you probably get.
Dave, you won't get 40 million for him. Not in this current climate.
I think if Pochettino from PSG comes calling, I think you will get the 40.
Okay, say 40 then.
Harry Winks, you're probably talking about 20 million. What would you say? 20 million.
20 million.
So that's already 60 million. You know, who else have you got? Sissoko, you probably get about 10 million for. That's 70. Davies probably about 10. That's 80. Moon Boots probably about 10. That's 90. Maybe about 100. Maybe about 120 million, I'd say. You'd probably generate. And even if they gave us back 90 for that to spend, you know, it's better than nothing.
Skriniar.
But I think they will.
With the mess we're in, you're probably talking 2 players out of that's genuinely going to come in and help the team. So you raise that money, we're going to be in another situation again where we're just going to buy quantity over quality. It's going to happen all over again.
Exactly.
That's the problem. That is the biggest problem. We're not going to go buy 2 or 3 great players. We're going to go buy like 5 fucking.
See which ones work out.
We don't want to do Bale. We don't want to do what we did with Bale money. And go out and get 7 other players.
No, look, Lee will get all that transfer money in, and he knows I likes food, so he'd probably just say, "Look, Dave, we'll bring you from McDonald's, just so you don't give out." That's probably what he'll do. Reinvest in McDonald's out of it to keep me quiet. He's just look. I think everybody agrees. You know what I mean? That Enoch have to go because we've gone through so many questions here today, and the end result is literally we're just going to go back through the same cycles again. So you know what I mean? No matter what way we try and get out of it, it always just keeps coming back to Enoch and going through the same cycle.
100%.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't want to do anything. I don't want any manager. I don't want any players till the board aren't sorted. The board needs to be sorted out first. Then we can concentrate.
Operation dump.
Operation dump. No players, no manager until the board is fixed.
Exactly.
100%. But look, lads, we're hitting the hour and 50-minute mark. So the last few minutes now, I'm going to go around, give everybody a chance to plug themselves. If you have enjoyed the show, put in a super chat. Let us know you've enjoyed it. If you can't do that, everyone get in the comments. Let us know what you think of this type of show, because it is a show I'm going to do on a more regular basis, once a week with Jack, where he comes on with the great questions that he's answered tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I think it's been brilliant. We've just covered such a various range of topics, which has been absolutely excellent. So, guys, if you've enjoyed it, everybody put in, let us know, and big up Jack for basically coming up with the questions and everything else to make this show happen. And let us know if it's something you want to see going forward. But, Jack, let everybody know where they can find you.
Listen, you can find me at Tottenham Away with Brian's, the 2 Brian's with Stell and Shy. They have weekly episodes, plenty of episodes per week. If you liked what I had to say, if you liked my questions, you can find me there. But first, I have to thank David here. Thank you so much, David. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. It was so much fun to come up with these questions. It was so much fun also to not be the guy always answering the questions, because I know I'm a bit more used to that, and David isn't as used to answering the questions himself. So it was a brilliant switcheroo. And I really, again, it was an honor, and I really am looking forward to more episodes. And thank you also to the panel. It really is an all-star panel of brilliant minds. So thank you guys. You can find me at Tottenham Way. Please subscribe there. Please give David a subscribe. Please send in your super chats. Please support us all at the Tottenham family.
No, 100%, Jack. Look, you've been great. You've earned the opportunity, and you certainly took it tonight, lad. I wish our players could have the same attitude as you, my man. Brian C with the super chat, he's saying a brilliant show, lads. Well done.
Yes, Brian.
Big yourself up, Brian. I really do appreciate it. And James McKevitt says, well done, lads. Come on, you Spurs. Jack, I think we're going to have to make this a weekly show, man. This comments is up the chain. People are really, really enjoying it, my man. So I think we're going to have to turn this into a weekly thing. So don't stop with that notepad and pen writing questions, man. Honestly, just to give people a bit of context. So this guy has been waiting for me for about a solid month to do this, in fairness to him. I've just been so busy and everything else, so many ideas and stuff on the back burner. And I just told him, hang in there, we'll get it done after cup final, and it's going to be a brilliant show. And it has been. Like, this guy has been sending me for weeks pictures of him with a notepad and pen writing down all these questions. So I already knew this was going to be a great show. But it wouldn't happen without you, Jack. So you have to take all the credit for this. But Danny,
definitely.
let everybody know where they can find you, man.
Well, before that, I just want to say, like, honestly, Jack, what unbelievable, mate. You've done you smashed it tonight, mate. Because the questions have been just top notch. You couldn't get better questions from anywhere else. So I want to say you presented the show like tonight unbelievably, and you should take your hat off for that, mate. Honestly,
you guys.
So I want to say well done.
Easier. It's so much easier to have guys like you that I know I can trust and brilliant minds, and I know you guys are going to give me the smart answers. So made me look a lot better.
No, you've done well, man. Honestly, so well done, man. But yeah, if anyone wants to find me on Twitter, we're going to have a show coming out. We're going to try and get it done before the start of the season, but it's going to be a football debate show with a lot of delusional, stupid people on there, basically. So if you want to watch a lot of banter, a lot of stupidness, talking about football, we're going to have different shows and different types of content and topics we're going to be discussing about the Premier League and some other leagues as well. Then follow me on Twitter and you'll see some more news coming on that very soon.
Big up.
100%. And I think I speak for everybody, Danny. We're looking forward to your channel coming out, my man. So we can't wait. We're sitting here in anticipation. Kieran O'Connell says Josie's on Talksport tomorrow. Could be very interesting.
Thank you, Kieran, also for all your super chats and all your comments, by the way. And Kieran, I did see your Nikola Vlasic comment. And by the way, he is a brilliant player, like every itch in the world. I always love them instantly. And so hopefully hopefully Spurs could look at him. I love a good Croatian in our team.
100%. So do I. I like a good Croatian too. But big up, Kieran. And look, if you know what time, please put it in the chat so every single one of us can drop what we're doing tomorrow. You know what I mean? If the boss comes in, just be like, look, fuck off, listening to Josie on Talksport. You know what I mean? So drop in the time if you know, so we can all sit here. So we can all sit here and wait for it.
10 and 1 normally.
Imagine if Jose's first thing he says. Imagine the first thing comes up. Daniel Levy's a cunt.
Yeah, imagine. That'd be absolutely brilliant, lad. I'd love it. But no, it'd be very interesting to hear what you have to say. But Bob, why don't you let everyone know where they can find you, man? Recently got over 200 as well. So proud of you, so happy for you as well. And we want to make that 3. And the Harris Army, you can definitely do it. There's 144 people. I'd say there's definitely 100 that haven't subscribed to bobspur. So you could actually get into 300 tonight if you really enjoyed what you had to say here tonight. Bob, let them know where they can find you.
Bobspur TV, please. I keep on forgetting, so please come onto my channel, check my content out. It is different. It's we have a banter, we have opinions, we have a fallout, but we always get a discussion out of it. I'm getting the views now. I really am. The streams I did yesterday, I was hitting 200-300s in the space of an hour or so. So I'm really getting the views. But people aren't subscribing. So it's obviously something that I'm probably not making people aware of. So subscribe if you can, share, like, the usual, comment. But yeah, I'd love to see those subscriptions going up. The first 100 were slow. Second 100, since you guys have started pushing it, just half the quarter of the time. But today's all about Jack. Well done, mate. I mean,
honestly,
I had your Mars stream yesterday, and you held your own yesterday, and you came out with some interesting facts that none of the panel were aware of. So yeah, really good. And I think we've found a bit of a gem here, haven't we, mate?
We have. And look, I don't mind anyone else taking Jack, but just not that one show a week. I want him for it because he's been absolutely brilliant. But honestly, lads, if anyone does deserve the subscription, it's been Bobspur. He's sitting there, he's plowing away constantly. And if anyone really does deserve it and is put in the grind like this guy, it's Bob. And you have to subscribe. You know, like you were saying, the first 100 was the hardest. But he's done the hard slog. He's getting over it now, and he's starting to just go along smoothly. And you guys can just keep making that happen. And Bob, I don't question your work ethic. I don't question the work you put in. I firmly believe you will be a big Spurs YouTuber. I firmly believe it. You have the personality and you have everything to go with it. And all I'd say to you is just keep grinding, man.
Of course,
the next 100 will come quicker. After that, the next 100 will come quicker. Just keep going. You found your mojo. You found your lane. Stick with it and keep driving it on, Bob. That's what I'd say to you. Honestly, though, guys, I want to say just quickly, actually, all the link for all the boys' social media and Bob's YouTube channel, it is in the description below. So you don't even have to go and type it or search it. Just go into the description and beneath this video. It's all there for you. Just click the link. I have it set up for everybody. But look, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody for the super chats. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has smashed a like on the stream. We smashed the subscribe on the channel. The 200 and odd people here at a time who were sitting here listening to all of us talk shit. I want a massive thank you to all you guys as well. A massive thank you to all the channel members and the Harris Army for tuning in. The next show that is coming up is the fan show tomorrow. So tomorrow at 7, I'll be doing a show about Ten Hag, because I do think he's going to be the next manager of Tottenham. Yeah. After that, then at 9:30, I'll be doing the fan show. So I would like to see everybody on it. If you haven't, go and grab a membership. But Jack, do you want to say anything to what is now your viewers right now as well, because it's your show?
That's it.
Do you want to say anything to them before I sign it off?
Before signing off, I just say Bob does not do himself enough credit. Please give Bob a subscription. Please hit that notification bell. He always supports us. He always comes on everybody else's channel and offers brilliant opinions. He's always there for us. So please be there for him. Support him. He has brilliant content coming out. So please head over there right now. It's been a wonderful opportunity. I'm so glad that everybody loved it. I'm so glad for all the support. Thank you for all my friends here and helping me. It's been wonderful, and I'm looking forward to next week. And if you after you're done watching the fan show tomorrow, and after you're done engaging with David tomorrow, please come over to Tottenham Way for the two Bryans on Friday. It'll be a wonderful show, and that's all I can say. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I hope to have the fan show ended off by the time the two Bryans start. So everyone can just go straight over to the two boys. But Jack, honestly, sorry, Bob, go on.
I just want to say, Jack, also consider yourself really lucky, mate, that you've come into a community where you've got basically the whole of, majority of the YouTube Spurs family. They're helping you out, happy to take you in and share the knowledge and take your knowledge on board, because you're not going to get that in any other fan channel. The community we've got here. I mean, when I started off that Spurs Twitter page, that group page, I had about 3 or 4 people. Me and Daddy were talking about it the other day. I only had about 3 or 4 people on it, and now I've got 22. We've got 22 people on there, and I'm hardly on it. Everyone chats to each other. There's no competition. We go as far as, what time are you going on? We don't want to clash, like David just said. You want to finish up in time for the. You'll never get that anywhere. So just without bigging ourselves up too much, I think you're very lucky that you've come in into a YouTube Spurs
I've been
YouTube family
with the biggest arms imaginable.
And Danny knows for a fact that when he starts his channel, he's got a guaranteed 40 members straight away on the first 10 minutes.
Guys, no.
You know what I mean?
100%.
We'll be there. We'll be there supporting him.
Beautifully said, Bob. Thank you.
But look, this is one thing I can't stress enough, and it goes right from the top, from the boys that we are Tottenham TV to Chris Cowlin, right through to the very bottom of the pyramid. No matter who you are, how big you are, or how small you are, everyone in this Spurs family is equal, and that's what I absolutely love about it. You need people for your shows? Yeah, I'm around, no problem. I'll come on. Exactly. Not a problem. You're never, ever stuck. And I have to say, it's been great. But Jack, you also earn your look. You also earn it, and you have 100%. Earned it. You know what I mean? You've done absolutely brilliant today. So, everybody, look, we're going to end it off here. I want to say a massive thank you for the super chats, a massive thank you for the likes, the subscribes, a massive thank you to you, the Harris Army, and everyone else for tuning in. Fan show tomorrow at 9:30. Be there or be square. I'm the Irish Hotspur. I've had a pleasure of being joined by Jack, Bobspur, and Danny. Thank you so much to you guys too. And let's give them the biggest come on, you Spurs, before we go.
Come on, you Spurs. Get in.